we've always done this intro thing, but it's always just kind of a shit show at the beginning.
So just leave it
yeah, we'll just
without that.
hop right in the middle of us small talking.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are those customers that are just it's working.
It's working.
All right, we're just checking to make sure it's working. There are those customers that money is no object. They want the top of the line, best thing they can possibly buy for every part on that car.
And
It's insane.
it's nice to work with those people
Yes.
because working on the other end, you get a GTST in, you've got a low priced owner, and you start telling them that the exhaust is half the price of his car.
They're not going to do it.
Yeah,
Right,
they don't want
right.
to touch it. No, I find it cheaper, whatever the case may be. Or they bring you a non-quality part, an eBay, and you start dealing with, hey, this doesn't fit.
It's
Hey,
junk,
it's going to cost
yeah.
you double to do this. I've got to send it down. It's got to be refabricated. So
If you just bought the right thing in the first place, then it would fit right, and I'd have 30 minutes of labor in it.
right,
But now I'm going to have 4 or 5 hours of fabrication time in it.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to cost you way more than just going and buying the Tomei titanium exhaust.
Yeah.
right.
You know, I mean, I know. So it is difficult, but you want to help people too to get their car, running, no
Yeah.
matter what it is, as much as possible.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The guys get mad at me sometimes because I'm bringing in too much work.
Well,
They're
I'm
too
actually
much.
turning away work right now. Are we talking online right now?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's all out in the open. You know that.
Making sure. Because
So we
I've
don't
got-
say some stuff.
I've got a couple shout outs. One of them being if I get a inquiry from anyone and says, "Hey man, I'm trying to bring my car down and I want to do this and I want to," and I'm like, "Where are you coming from?" Because my East Coast runs now, I've stopped there. I stopped at Countersteer and I stopped at Brandon Bachtel Built. So I've seen all three of those shops. I've seen the work that comes out. I saw their work firsthand. I saw your work firsthand. So it's in my best interest to say, no, don't ship it down 13 hours from Ohio to me when you've got you guys right there. We can turn around and send it to you guys, or we send it down to Brandon, because a lot of the military on the East Coast is looking and
Yeah.
they're bringing in from overseas and everything. They're like, hey,
And they need
there's a
help.
voice out there. Who do I take it to? And I'm like, dude, you got so-and-so right down the street. Take it there. Don't bring it all the way down to me. I got 12 cars in right now. It's not helping me.
Right. I mean,
I don't have the luxury of adding on a 50 by 100 shop behind my current shop to store more of them.
Yeah, we've already outgrown that.
We need a third one.
Yeah.
We need a third building.
Yeah.
What's this place back over here, the other building up the hill here? Once
Right.
they leave there, we'll just rent that one out too.
Well, you got that
honestly,
field out in front of you. You might as well just build a 20,000 square foot facility and just.
We're gonna build the compound. We're gonna buy like 300 acres. We're gonna build a track. It's gonna be grip track that we can then drift on and have like a little, at least, launching area for drag racing.
There you go.
I got it all set up here.
Yeah, up there.
So yeah, we got 4 more years here
Yeah.
at least, but that's the timeline. After
Right.
that, we go big.
Or go home. Or just stay here.
No, we're not staying here. We don't have enough room. We're gonna need the room.
It's
honestly.
well, like we moved into that shop 6 months ago, really, and
yeah,
and it's
full.
It's full. We rearranged
Yeah,
everything literally as best as we could yesterday. Me and
Yeah.
CJ spent most of the day back there, like organizing, moving cars around to where it's effective, because we were spending like 30 minutes to an hour just to get one car out.
Right.
Having to move and shuffle stuff around.
Yeah, it was pretty inefficient.
Yeah, so.
Well, my first visit up there, it was just a concrete pad.
Yeah.
The second visit up there, we had walls up, but no dyno or anything else was in the building yet. I think you didn't even have all the doors on. The side walls were up and they were working on insulation, I think.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm thinking about building some awnings out or something at least,
Hmm.
and having the cars so they're not in the sun, they're not getting rained on. They stay dry,
Yeah.
and there's some protection for them. You know, and then of course keep the highest end cars inside, and like our cars that we're gonna sell or something before
Yeah.
we clean them up, we can keep outside under the awning. It's there's a lot. I mean, between the consignment vehicles we got coming in, and the ones we are bringing in and selling from Japan, and the ones that are just coming here to have us work on their cars,
Right.
it's a lot. It adds up
And they
quick. I
stack up
mean,
quick.
we got
Yeah.
nine cars right here that I could see
1, 2, 3,
just up
4,
front right here.
5, 6,
Oh
7,
wait,
8, 9,
10,
12.
12. Sorry. Just up front here. And then the
Yeah.
other
Right.
building, in front of the other building, we got a bunch of cars
We've
parked out
got
front.
6 cars in front,
Parked out
7 in front of the building, and then we've got 12 inside, I think.
Yeah, and then probably 3 in the back, right
Yeah,
here in the
it's-
back space.
It's
So, I mean,
stupid.
we're getting another lift. We're going to put that in the back building. I'm going to get a brake and a shear and a bandsaw and a notcher. And we already have a tubing bender. And then I want to get a mill too, like just like a $10,000-$12,000 mill that we can, mill some stuff. Maybe you can program it, but it's not,
Right.
it's still older technology, but it'll be better than not having anything. And then we
Right.
still got the router table,
which is great for like aluminum, simple milling,
yeah. And
and carbon fiber, stuff like that.
I've got a guy, Devin. He's going to start soon, and he works like in a NASCAR shop now, and just fabricating, and
Right.
the stuff he does looks amazing, right? So that's why I'm gonna kind of outfit. That's the next step, is outfit the business more for fabrication, because Josh can fab, but then if Josh is fabbing, he's not helping the other guys get this done, or
He's not
diagnosing
tuning.
what's wrong with this car, or tuning the car on the dyno. And really his time is going to be more and more dyno
Right.
tuning basically. So, and then we're building engines. It's crazy.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just ends up being a lot.
I've got 3 on the floor right now. I got three short blocks sitting on the floor, getting ready to go to machine. Um, they come in spurts. You'll be doing major maintenance on most stuff, and then all of a sudden, hey, here comes 3 engines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme or reason to it. It just, whenever it happens basically. So
Let's go ahead and introduce this guy.
person
Yeah.
right here.
This
All right,
bald
guys.
guy,
So welcome to podcast. I guess this is number 9. I think I've lost count and I didn't check. So
the
it
next
might be 10. It's the
podcast.
next one on the list. But we have a really cool guest today. Everybody say hey to Sean Kirby,
hey,
Poor People's Racing. And I want to give you a minute to kind of
Yeah.
explain what you do. What is Poor People Racing? And
Where's it located?
yeah.
okay. Poor People Racing is located down here in Cape Coral, Florida. We're on the west coast, about midway down, about 2 hours south of Tampa, about an hour north of Naples. Okay, so there's 2 arteries in Florida that head north and south. One is 75, which runs down the west coast, and 95 runs down the east coast. Cape Coral is known for its canals. All right, we actually have more miles of canals in this city than they have in all of Venice.
Huh, that's
Holy
pretty
crap.
cool.
So, I mean, everybody's got a boat in their backyard, basically, because each of the canals go through there. We're right off the Gulf
That's pretty
of
cool.
Mexico. Yeah. So some of the money is down here. Excuse me. We basically specialize in the heritage cars. So anything prior to an R34, if it's a Nissan and right-hand drive, I'll put it through the doors. We technically specialize more in the Skylines, but because of Mr. Driver sitting there, we are starting to specialize in the Y32s as well, because a lot of them are coming down this way. I personally own a GTR and a Y32 Gloria myself, among many other cars. But We specialize in everything from, we've done a couple deliveries for people. We do inspections for a local importer in the area. We've also do everything from complete rebuilds to the engines all the way down. We've got a couple in right now. One of Mr. Driver's HKS Jake. He actually has his car down here. It's getting a full remodel.
Nice.
We just had our fabricator put a full cage in it. We're not quite ready to start releasing pictures, but the build on that is quite astounding. Currently, as we just mentioned, we've got about 12 cars in right now in various stages of different builds and different repairs. And I've been doing this, as far as PPR is concerned, for about 3 years now. PPR is not the first time this name was used by me. Actually had a rotary shop when I was up in Delaware and stationed in the military, up in Dover, Delaware. So we did that for about 2 years. And then I retired the name for a little bit. And funny chances, one of our customers that's in here right now first contacted me because they found out I was stationed in Japan and knew what a Skyline was. So that individual needed a clutch put in. We brought him down. I slammed the clutch in right next to him. He got to see the whole process and everything. At the time, I was actually doing a used automotive tool store. And I thought, well, they're starting to get me into it. Longtime friend of mine, Daryl Ferguson, out of Texas. He and I were stationed together in Okinawa. We worked side by side on all our cars over there. And he said, Sean, you might as well just open it up because nobody's got it. Nobody has a shop that specializes in it. So the next thing you know, I was looking for some real estate, and here I am.
That's awesome. So how long has you said the shop's been open 3 years, or is that just poor people's
The shop here has been open for 3 years.
Okay.
As far as me being around Skylines, I purchased my first GTST Type M in 1999 in Okinawa, Japan. I owned 13 Skylines while I was stationed there for 4 years.
Damn.
Oh my gosh.
You had a problem.
I had R31s. I had R32s. Last purchase was a GTR. I owned that the longest. That was 2 years. A lot of them were buy it and flip it real quick because there was something wrong and nobody knew how to fix it.
Yeah.
So, but I walked into the Skylines sight unseen. I'd never owned a turbo car. I never paid attention. I was a big V8 fan. I'm a Chevy guy by heart. So I didn't know what a boost controller did, and I didn't know what a turbo timer was. I didn't understand what a wastegate could do. I didn't realize that if you put a fish valve in there, you could send some boost through the roof. So I sent a couple ceramic wheels down the backside.
Yeah.
Was getting really good at changing them out on the RB20s.
Change out another turbo.
Yeah.
Yep. And over there, I mean, literally, you go to the junkyard, they were $50.
Yeah.
Right. It was all over the place.
Now, me being the gullible man, I didn't know to shop on the civilian side. So I bought at one of the nickel lots that catered to the Americans. I was on island approximately 4 days and paid $6,500 for my GTST Type M in 1999.
Wow.
And it was an automatic.
Oh, an auto.
It was a TH1 coupe.
Dark blue.
Drove that for a little while, wrecked it, practiced drifting, relocated the driver's side tail light to about the key opening for the trunk.
Oh, man.
So you practiced well.
Yes.
Crashed the gas tank. Did a lot of fun stuff, and realized drifting was not for me. I grew up drag racing. I've had muscle cars. I get into these Facebook posts and it says, post all the cars you've ever owned. I said, I'll break the internet. Last count since I was 16 years old was 163 cars.
Oh my
Damn,
gosh.
that's
and those
more
are
than
like
me.
I've titled these cars and drove them.
Titled them, they
registered.
were in my name, put insurance on them, drove them, had them maybe 2 weeks. Some of them I had for years.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
I'm
Oldest
not
car
that
I've ever
bad.
owned was a 1955 Mercedes 190 diesel. The newest vehicle I've ever owned is actually my motorcycle. It's a 2008 105th anniversary edition Ultra Classic from Harley.
Oh, the ultra classics are just couches, man.
And it's a
I
road
love them.
sofa, but
They're
I don't get to
awesome.
ride it down here. The bike I purchased 4 years ago, it had 2,700 miles on it. I now have 3,300 miles on it.
Man, you got to ride them, man.
Not down in Florida, you don't.
Really?
Because
The bugs will destroy
the
you.
heat is so bad down here right now. So this afternoon, approximately 3 o'clock, we were at 95 degrees outside with humidity and the heat index, we were at 105. So
Yeah, that's
getting
cold.
out into that air is like driving through an oven
Yeah.
during the summer months. So when you would think, all right, it's going to cool down and it's going to be the fall, it's going to get down, like 70 or 80 degrees in the evening. That's when the snowbirds are here. And you got Ethel in her Q-tip sitting out over the top of the steering wheel driving down the road like this and doesn't see your bike.
Yeah.
So yeah, it gets scary down here.
Yeah,
I can imagine.
that.
Yeah. Oh man. So I noticed on your website that you actually sell quite a bit of parts as well.
What we do is we facilitate the parts as much as we can. We try to get what we can. We deal with a lot of requests.
Yeah.
The problem we're finding, and you guys will find as well, is a lot of the parts that we're used to being able to get have now gone to the Heritage Program.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
The other aspect of it is most people don't realize that these cars, if you bought an American car, I know you've got your Tahoe or your
My
that's
Escalade,
dead.
a tree fell
Okay.
on it. A tree
the
fell on it.
Escalade.
It's gone now.
So GM
I don't have
is
anything
required to carry brand new parts for that for 10 years.
required.
They support up to 10 years.
Okay.
After 10 years, you're stuck with the aftermarket. So you could go down to AutoZone and you can get Dorman and you can get, other aftermarket companies that have picked up and are making this, and like the help section. Nissan was nice enough to carry a lot of this stuff for us, and then realized that when it went to the American market, Nissan was putting money in their pockets in Japan, but they had no idea what to stock because they no longer had the amount of cars. So from a business perspective, you're not going to keep creating parts for cars that you can't tell are still on the road. So in the R32 with 43,000 units made, how many are still on the road? And nobody knows.
Yeah.
So
30,000.
I'm going to cut it in half.
Oh, really? Wow.
Literally.
Okay. You think that many?
I think that many.
Rusted out, rotted out, or just wrecked and gone, either or.
With worldwide market and consumption, and we're seeing it, on a weekly basis here, 2 to 3 a week we're losing. Whether it's a lower GTS or a GTR itself.
Skylines are going.
But Skylines are dropping. 313,000 total production, but only 43,000 get to wear the GTR name.
Right.
In R32. So now you've got 43,000 were produced. And here we are almost 30 years later from the first one. At least half are gone.
Yeah, maybe you're right. And then how many are in really, really good condition, low mile, that are the collector car that are, just put away and no one will ever see them again?
Yep.
Probably 2,000, 2,500 maybe.
At least.
So you have that group.
And then you have
gone.
your competitors that are digging them out of the weeds, and there's no floorboards or anything, and they're selling them at premium prices.
We won't mention any names.
They can thank
We are
us.
not mentioning names. I knew where to stop.
They can thank us for the price that they can get for these cars that they're selling.
And the thing is, finding a quality GTR anymore is becoming extremely tough.
It is becoming hard.
and finding one that's even in stock condition,
Oh, that's
like when
almost
you
impossible.
provided for Mr. Soka, or I can't say his last name, so I call him Soka. The one you provided for that was an immaculate car,
It was.
and finding that is not easy.
No, it
And
is.
not with the documentation and not with everything that sits behind it.
Right.
So
Right.
I happened to be there when that came in, and I got to look at it.
Right.
And when
Your
you
jaw
can
dropped.
when you can pick up a phone and say, "Hey, you're not going to find a cleaner one. Jump on this."
Yeah.
And I have a list of guys that are always asking, "Hey, you got a car? You know where you can get one? I need a clean one." Even now, we're stepping into collector territory.
Yes.
Yeah. We're finding that out pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
And
And
with that whole thing about the price of the cars, going up, like we just explained, because supply and demand.
Yeah.
All right. The supply we just established is pretty low. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How many Mustangs were sold last year to the American
there were
market?
more than there were more F-150 pickup trucks put on the road this month than the entire Skyline production.
Yeah.
Right. So
okay,
I mean,
that's how you justify it.
that can
Yeah.
show you, so if there's that little supply and that big of a demand, which we have here in this country, there's just, come on, there's
Yeah.
so much, right? So the prices are going to go up. It's going to be, that's just the way it is. And I remember you saying to me one time something about like, oh man, I bet you're happy about the prices going up on the GTRs. And I was like, no, I don't want them going up. I want them to stay low, because now I have to spend more money to buy that car, and sit on that money, come in, and really I end up making the same amount of profit, not percentage of profit. My percentage of profit actually is dropping every year that goes by. The percentage of profit on the GTRs go down because the amount of money I have to spend to buy that car, get it here, fix it up, make it, really nice car.
Right.
That and our expectations keep going up as well. So in the shop, we spend more time on stuff,
Right. We're spending more hours on it and everything.
Yeah.
So,
and finding that clean car could take 2 months running
Or
through
longer.
office and everything to get that perfect car. And the problem is, it's not just you, it's every importer in the world jumping on that car.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got a list. Hey, you get a grade 4, I want to be first.
And it's worldwide.
It is.
It's worldwide. We're not competing against just people in the United States. We're competing with people in the UK, people in, just everywhere.
Yeah.
Europe,
Right.
South Africa, Australia, New Zealand.
Well, the other problem is lying in that Nissan has discontinued a lot of part support for the North American area, not just the US, Nissan North America.
Yeah.
Canada as well.
So there were a couple companies that went in when Nissan started to say, all right, we're going to start getting rid of this stuff. And they bought up inventory, and they bought up a lot.
Yeah.
So now they know you can't get it. Now you got to pay their price.
Yeah.
And then everything shipping. So one of the most common things we're seeing right now is front bumpers and lips on the GTRs, because a lot of guys want to transfer onto a GTS and use those and make it look like a GTR, since they can't get one.
We've done a few of those.
So I did a price quote for just a lip for an R32 through a supplier. He says, I can get them in country. He says, but by the time you buy it through the Heritage program, you get it sent over, whether it's cargo or air freight. He says, I receive it. I do my markup for doing all the work. He says, and then I ship it out. He says, you're looking at $800 for a lip.
For a lip. $200 lip.
Where 6 months ago, I literally bought the last 2 lips in the United States, and they were like $247.
Right.
So, don't we have a few?
We got a few, maybe more. We got a brand new front bumper. I got a brand new GTR front bumper as well.
But I mean, they're not going anywhere.
Well,
Well,
the other aspect
we'll
we're
use them
finding,
on really nice
Yeah, yeah.
GTRs. You know, if we have a
right?
really nice GTR and it's got a messed up front lip, like,
Yeah.
you know, but I mean, you could take them and repair them with the right material that's going to
You
flex
can,
and everything,
but
and then paint it to match. But if you want that gray
Yeah. That factory poly.
factory
Yeah.
poly
right.
lip, then you know you're gonna pay $800.
Yep.
So, and then you look at, we're trying to find replacement parts for common items, air conditioning compressors.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I know.
R32 is insane. There is one brand new compressor left in the United States. Take a wild guess what the price on that one is.
1500.
$16.95
I was close.
That
without
was pretty
shipping.
close.
Okay, so a lot of guys are doing this conversion. They're getting cars in that don't have air conditioning working, not necessarily from driver, but it just they come in or it fails on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You tell a customer, yeah, $1,600 for a compressor. Oh no,
No,
man,
like
I'll,
what?
I'll find something else.
And
You
it's like,
won't
no,
find
you
something
won't.
else. It doesn't
Yeah.
work.
And I don't think there I don't think there is a retrofit that anybody's made yet. Is there?
Yes, there's one in Japan.
Okay.
It converts to a R134 compressor, has a much smaller condenser, comes with everything, but it's $1,800 in Japan before
Right.
you even get the whole kit here. And
Yeah.
you're looking at a pretty sizable box, about a little more than an intercooler box from Greddy.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still looking at $300 to $400 to ship it.
I mean, but really you're getting an entire system that's retrofitted. So I mean, to pay a couple $100 more than you can get the last,
Just the last
you know,
compressor.
it's
I
kind
mean,
of
and then if you need to replace something again in the future, you can get that. Or
exactly.
buy two now, put it away. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, who knows?
It's
10
just,
years from now, that's not there anymore.
yeah.
And now what do you do? You know, so
But yeah, I mean, like we were talking about the prices of cars going up. I mean, obviously that reflects in the parts as well. But I mean, if we talk about like just GTRs and like our chassis from 33 to 34, like that price is automatically going to be higher for a 33 and then even higher for a 34
yeah,
just because the
Right.
quality was smaller, you know,
the quantity,
or the quantity
less
that they
of
made,
them.
you know,
Yeah,
You go
I
from
mean,
43,000 production to 16,000 production
for the
to
33.
11,000.
yeah,
it's crazy. And everybody
exponentially
wants the
smaller.
R34 too. So
Yeah.
there's even more demand for the R34.
Yeah.
All right, so
But you-
11,000. You want to say 30% of them are gone? So let's
I
just
will
say we're
say
down to
that the
7,500.
34 probably still has a lot more going for it.
Yeah.
You have to look at how much consumption was done by racing in the 32s. You have to look at how much consumption was done through traffic accidents and just attrition.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we've seen lately, if you go back 4 years, it wasn't uncommon to see 100, 120 Skylines on auction.
Oh yeah.
Now you go to like USS Tokyo or USS Yokosuka or anything like that, you're lucky to say 15.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
And they're all RA,
33s
R,
and-
grade
yeah.
2, grade, you know, they're
Grade 2.
junk. That's
Grade
what I call
2.
some of the ones that go through another one of your competitors.
Grade 1. Junk. I mean, I know someone's buying them
Yeah.
because I see them being bought, and I've got pictures of underneath, and
Mhm.
it doesn't say. It says it might say like rust,
Minor rust.
surface rust, or something like that on the auction sheet, especially in like Kobe.
Yeah.
Nagoya is worse than Tokyo as far as a car will come through and it'll be a grade 4, and that thing will look freaking brilliant on the outside. Interior looks beautiful too. And then I get pictures of underneath and I'm like, whoa, what? How is that even a grade 4? It shouldn't be. It should be an R2.
Yeah.
Really is what it should be. And it's just, it doesn't say it anywhere on the sheet. So
Yeah.
if someone's just buying off of that sheet right there, and I know they did because I know it sold
Yeah.
for, you know, I don't know,
And then it
5
shows
million
up at my
yen.
shop, and I go,
Throw it
kidding me?
away.
You actually paid for this?
Right. You need to just take the parts off of it because the chassis is worthless.
Yeah. I mean, that's another, just to kind of sidebar off of that, but a lot of people were like, especially in social media here lately, people want to know, like, are the importers sending, like, are they showing you the auction grade
The
sheet and
auction
stuff?
sheet.
And that can vary from like
Like I just
auction to
said,
auction from
too.
whoever's doing it, like the exterior
Right.
could be flawless,
Grade
the interior could be
4B.
flawless, but underneath the car,
It's been repainted
you
just
know,
fresh. That's why there's not one mark on
yeah,
it, no scratch,
Well, a lot of
nothing.
guys are going through what's called Carby X now, and they're
yeah,
trying to
Yeah.
get history on that. And when we started getting local cars here at one of the importers, he was paying to make sure that uh, it was radiation checked, that
Mhm.
he had a history on it and stuff like that. Now a
Full
lot of these
sheet.
guys are going through and they're buying the car, then they want to come after the importer saying, "Oh, you lied to me, you did this, you did that."
Right.
But it's the name of the game. It's not the importers that are doing it. What is happening is that car may have been up 2 years ago and it had a RA designation and it got
hmm
beat up. And then a year later, it's in a body shop, it gets restructured, it gets repaired.
Because it's worth it to them now because
yeah,
it sells for so much money. It's worth it for them to put a cap on it,
Right.
basically, and they just make it look good. That's all it has to
yep,
And
do. It
we've
just
all
has
seen the
to
auction
put up to
pictures. They're taken from 20 feet
auction.
away.
yeah,
And you're like, "Oh, that's not a bad looking car. Let me get that." Oh, it's rated a 3.5 and great. Okay, look
Yeah.
at all the Japanese writing that's scribbled down the side, which
Yeah. Must be good.
90% of the buyers can't read,
Right.
and you can't Google translate it.
yeah,
Right.
So you find out that, hey, this was prior this, prior that, this had this, and there's X's all over, and everything. Things have been repaired. You're like, okay, well, it looks like it's a clean car. It's got nice wheels on it, shiny paint,
That's what they go
graded
for.
grade 4B,
Hmm.
3.5B. Yeah, let's buy that. And you get
Yep.
it in, and it looks like they pulled it right out of the middle of the ocean.
yeah,
Like honestly, like it was sitting in a saltwater marsh or something. I don't understand how it could rust this bad.
yeah,
Literally, you
Well,
can take your finger and push your finger through the frame rail of the car, and it.
now they've got headhunters.
yeah,
Okay, so they're running around through all these backyards. They're running around through junkyards. They're running around through fields. And we see enough of the stuff out there on the internet through YouTube or whatever. Oh my God, look at
Yeah,
these junk cars sitting here. Man, we
yeah,
could save those. We could do this. The headhunters are going out and buying those registrations up,
yeah,
taking them into a shop, lipstick on a pig, and the next thing you know, it's at the auction.
yeah,
Now, a lot of times, like you're saying, how did it had to be sitting in water or anything, but they're sitting in a field with damp,
mud.
wet grass underneath
Yeah,
it the whole time, just
yeah,
rusting it from the bottom.
yeah,
yeah.
And there's there was a influx about 2 years ago of importers. Everybody is importing them out of their garage. I got this, I can do that, I can bring them
Yep,
in.
yep. I
And
know all about
the
it.
auction prices went through the roof. Now, I have been I've read all the regulations. I can do importing, I could get the brokers, I could do all of it. I chose not to.
Smart
yeah,
man.
yeah,
The and we look at as a business, what is our best money? Sure, bringing in on all those shiny cars and having people come around and they're doing everything with you, but finding that nice shiny car, they don't see the hours upon hours that go into making that nice shiny car
yeah,
Or just trying to find them and buy the right ones. It takes
at the right
time. I have
money.
to go through so many cars to find the right one, and then I'd have my source get me pictures, and we go over the auction sheet, and I make an educated
Right.
decision on it.
But you've got so many that are trying to get into the business, not only in the United States,
yeah,
but in Japan. Oh yeah, we can get that car to you. We can ship it to you. We can do
Oh
all that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you
Just
get
buy
to
it straight
go,
from Japan. Just
yeah,
buy
you
it from
get,
here. And there's shysters over there too. So
yep. Oh yeah, we can get you a red one.
right.
So
yeah,
one of the largest over there cuts the VIN out of one car, welds it into a red car, says, here you go. There's a red car.
Yeah. Well, there's a company, we won't mention any names, but it's we'll just say it's in the same state that we are. Okay.
Hmm.
And they've gotten in the quite a bit of trouble, let's say, on the internet at least, because a lot of their stuff is stolen in Japan.
Right.
So
And that's a thing that's starting to happen as well, because you have an American public that is carnivorous for anything they can get their hands on.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not only for just the Skylines or a Gloria or Supra or anything like that.
There's tons.
But old school merchandise.
Yep.
Anything with an old school Nismo logo is going for thousands.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. LMGT1s, you had a set.
I know.
Oh my gosh. I think I saw a set like a couple months ago that was like $7,000.
Yeah, $7,000.
Yeah.
I sold them to a previous customer of ours. So
And I currently have them.
I hooked them up. You know how much he paid for them.
I do, but I'm not saying a word.
All right. But
that's a him and you.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying.
But I also have 2 additional ones.
He got
on
the deal.
top of those 4.
Oh, okay. Where'd you
For
get those?
repair.
Are those? Oh, for repair.
So I get to see a lot of what's coming in from across the country.
Yeah.
I have not been blessed with a top rank car, but I've known Sean for years.
Mm-hmm.
I actually stood foot in MotorX, and I talked to Hero. I shook his hands. I talked to all of it. The Bayside Blue 34 was there, etc. Sean was out of the show. Sean and I had gone back and forth for years, different forums, different things like that. But what's funny is it took us almost 20 years to shake hands. I literally went to lunch with him about a year and a half ago, here in Florida. But we talked on the phone, we talked over Facebook, we talked over MySpace, years.
Right.
So it's kind of funny that a lot of the guys that started all of this in the days of, you can go to the internet today. I can download a Skyline GTR manual. I can have it in PDF. It's on my screen. I can follow it.
It wasn't like that.
When JPNZ first translated that, they were $840 on eBay to get a copy of it. It came in a binder.
Mm-hmm.
Like a big trapper keeper.
Right.
And you had all your pages, and it was 800 and some pages. But when I first started with Skylines, I had nothing in English. I was on the SAU forums and Skylines Down Under and everything like that years ago. And that's how I had to learn. And then I had Daryl, who could speak Japanese, but we had to go to a shop and try to ask the question.
Oh.
And in a Japanese shop, they don't want to necessarily want to give up their secrets.
No. And to Americans too. Probably a couple cocky Americans coming up in there saying, "Hey, tell us about this stuff." And they're like, "What's that? Get out of here."
But
you know I'm right though. You know I'm right. That's the problem. They don't want to give that up.
We were shunned out of a couple of shops while we were in Okinawa.
Right.
So, we had some rivalries going. I happened to be in Okinawa. And in fact, Daryl and I were talking about this last night. I was there from 99 to 03. So the Fast and Furious, I already owned a Skyline before Fast and Furious made them popular.
Nice.
Before Sean blew it all up. I had never heard of one. I didn't know anything about it. I was actually TDY while I was in the military in Hungary. And a guy brought over an option magazine and a couple others. We were talking cars, all mechanics sitting in there. That's what I did in the military. And he said, "Man, Sean, you probably like one of these." And he opens up the book, and there's a beautiful black R32 GTR. I said, oh, that's a nice Cavalier. Because at the time, that's what it looked like. And he explained to me what it was, and I was like, okay, all right. So when I got back to the States, internet was still new, and I started researching them and trying to figure out what they were, and wasn't a whole lot of stuff in English, wasn't a whole lot of pictures out there. I didn't know about JGTC. I didn't know about, Bathurst and them running the 29 races and all that. I had no history like that.
Right. It wasn't on television. It wasn't
Yeah.
on the
We had no
internet.
clue with that.
So how do you
So
even
unless you
know
were
about
deep
it?
in the industry at that time, you didn't know about Mark Scaife. You didn't know about anybody else out there. And so you started learning, and then you start hearing history. I was lucky enough that I worked in vehicle maintenance on Kadena in Okinawa, and I had 52 Japanese mechanics. And some were very old and some were very young, and they taught me a little bit of the history of the car. I pull up in a Skyline, and they're like, oh, rich man. No, rich man. Oh, this rich man's car. Because Okinawa, they wanted the $1,500 beater because the rust was going to destroy the car and everything else like that. So they would never spend money on a new car in Okinawa. And that's during the days of red stage and blue stage, which most guys don't even know about. So you had two different dealers. Both were Nissan. One sold, let's say, the Cedric and the Laurel and more of your K cars and stuff like that. And then Red Stage would sell your Gloria Turbo. Anything that was turbocharged sold through a Red Stage. The sports cars all through.
I don't know this.
Red Stage.
I don't.
You never heard of this?
No. Please go on.
So those two stickers right there.
Yeah.
Nissan Red Stage, Nissan Blue Stage.
I've seen them before.
That was a marketing time in Okinawa or in Japan that they were trying to separate their two customer bases. Because you had Prince customers that were there for a while, and then you had Nissan and Datsun, and everybody was jockeying for a dealership. So a lot of the dealerships that were Prince, and you've seen enough of the Prince stickers on the back of cars coming in.
Yeah.
When you deal with a Prince dealer, they were more of the higher echelon. They had customers for years, and they were more prominent dealership than Nissan ever was. So when Nissan started coming in full force after buying Prince, you would find that any of your cars that have any of the option packages on them, they have the air purifiers, they have the red sway bars front and back, they've got the fog lights, they've got every one of them will have a Prince on the back of it.
Mm-hmm.
Your cars that don't have the Prince don't necessarily have those, because the options that were available to non-Prince dealers were not the same options that were available through Prince.
The fog lights that I always take off the cars, the GTRs, when the fog lights come in. Yeah, I just take them off immediately. I'm like, get them off of there.
Be careful, because some of the option packages were a standard Nissan upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
But some of them say Nismo across the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're pretty much the same light, just that Nismo stamp triples the price.
I think pretty much I would just put them in a box and give them to the customer that came with the car. I'd be like, here, I don't know, these are some fog lights. They were ugly, so I just put them in a box in the back of your car.
I'm looking for it. I don't know where I set it. I actually have one of the, I think it's sitting right here. Yep. So notice we got a Prince dealer sticker.
Yep.
Okay. So this is the option portfolio for everything for the GTSTs.
Oh, that's
everything
nice.
You could get from the dealer. So all the end-fit stereos, the front bumpers, the fog lights, all that stuff was available, and the pricing was all here. So
cool.
Interesting.
When you see the end-fit stereos, I can't see what you guys can see. They're all listed right there. So like Sean Morse has an end-fit Kenwood in, I'm not sure it's the blue car or the Nismo. I think it's the Nismo. He has the end-fit upgrade. So there were catalogs for the GTRs and everything like that. And they break it down as to what it costs, what you can get. And it was available like I said, only through the Prince dealer.
Only through Prince dealer. Okay.
So this was a Prince dealer certificate. So you went to go buy a brand new Skyline. This is what you got.
That's pretty.
That's cool.
That's really cool. Can you like scan that and send us a
Actually
picture?
on the SAU forums, they actually
have
have
it?
the full kit based with the cold drink holder, the secondary
Yeah.
cup holder here.
Yeah, the cup holder.
The knee pads, the most sought after now. You know, everybody's seen all these little options. The option that most have never seen is the towel rack.
Towel rack.
And it's a
I don't think I've
towel
ever
bar
seen one.
A towel bar in the trunk, because there's a compartment that actually sits up underneath the package tray that you can pull out for that.
Right.
But on the left side of the car, there was a small towel bar that you could hang your little towels for wiping down. Since
That's cool.
I'm trying to think if
I don't think I've ever
ever
seen
seen
one. But
one.
It's brown. I
not
believe
yeah,
Sam Chang has one,
GTRs.
and there's a couple others, but these are guys that collect everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's one of the rarest to find in a car.
I mean, I've definitely sold them with knee pads.
Yeah.
Yep.
The knee pads are like, it's one of those things
I
that
like
you don't recognize until like you kind of
sit in
set
there.
you set in it and your leg kind of bumps up and you're
And
like,
you're
why
like,
is that
"Ooh,
comfy?
Nice. Oh wait, there's a knee pad here.
It's such a
I'll
nice
tell you
like,
what needs them is Supras.
oh my gosh.
The Supra's so big in there, like your leg doesn't even touch the side of that door right
yeah,
there.
you feel
know?
like
I feel naked almost after driving GTRs and stuff
Yeah.
for so long, and then I get in there, I'm like, whoa, all right, I got too much room, you know.
yeah, but like from here back, from waist back, it feels nice and tight in the Supras.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
like
but
from
your
like knees
legs,
forward,
it's
yeah,
all loose out there, man.
Yeah.
The Skyline's tight, and then when you have the knee pads, it's even like it's better.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, yeah, definitely a lot of knee pads. The Nismo cigarette lighter thing,
which are like stupid expensive.
I know.
They're like
I've got.
they're
oh,
like
wait, no, I
200.
sold that.
The last time I saw one for sale was like 280 or 300.
They're expensive.
For
For
the red
a-
one.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
red Nismo.
Yeah, for
You
the
can
real
find the
one.
yellow
Yellow.
Nismos. Yeah.
What else? Some like old school Nismo floor mats.
Yep, the old school
Yeah,
with
the old logo.
I got a
Yes,
set here.
those are nice. Those are really nice. I like those a lot. Who has them? Someone. We got a car here with them. One of the GTRs we had.
Was it the blue one? The baby shark?
Maybe.
Mako shark? I think it might have been that one.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
want to boost?
Yeah.
See a bunch of those actually.
Yeah.
100 millimeter. This thing
Yeah,
is,
the big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it.
There's one in the Cresta right now, actually.
Yeah. And the Cresta has
Yeah.
one. And then Amori factory gauges.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
Amori factory gauges. Those are really cool. So just, I mean, some of those things I really, get into on that.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting you said the air purifier, because the first time I got into not one of the first times, but I noticed that on the one of the Y32s we had, I was like, what does this switch do? And turned it on and you can hear the air purifier in the back seat.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Jesus Canati, he's got one of driver's GTRs that he's purchased, a beautiful white one. That's almost finished and going back to the owner. But he also purchased a Y32 SEMA.
Mm-hmm.
And his SEMA is more of the upper range. His actually, when you drop the back in the trunk open and you pull out the air filter, there's a small, looks like a key. You turn it and you pull it out, and it's actually a wick for an air freshener.
Like a scented
Scented
air
wick.
freshener.
Yeah, so you can put your little chemical on there, put it in there, hit the air purifier,
and
and
boom.
it scents the whole car.
that's cool.
That is really cool. Yeah, I mean, there's just Monica's SEMA.
Monica's SEMA is gorgeous.
The leather interior.
Oh, was that
on
the cattle, the like dark?
The
Yeah, I
peanut
call
butter-
it saddle.
Yeah, it's like
saddle
saddle.
color.
the peanut
white.
butter interior.
Yeah.
We did a
So good.
complete detail on that using Leather Eat products.
Soften it
complained
all up.
to you saying that there was
gas smell.
Like a gas smell.
Yeah.
What it was Japanese cigarette smell. It was embedded in the leather.
I don't even really remember smelling.
If it
cigarette.
sits in the sun, it'll make your eyes water.
Maybe sitting in Florida, sun down there,
so
bacon.
We did a full leathery interior restoration on that leather.
Yeah.
And like your Escalade, it's the super soft leather, but when it came in here and it sat in the sun, it was hardening.
Yeah.
And it was letting out all the gases and everything else like that. So we spent about 2 days cleaning that whole interior out. You can smell another cigarette in it.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it should smell like leather. One thing you can do too for stuff like that is go buy some strips of leather or whatever and pin them up under the front seats.
Right.
And then now it smells like fresh leather. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
You could just de-ring it, in there and do that. That's old upholsterer's trick right there. You get they have the fake leather.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they buy the strips of just real leather and cut them up and put them in there. And then people are like, oh man, smell that? Smells like good leather,
Smells like a Harley jacket.
Yeah. So I guess let's talk about Skylines some more.
Yeah.
Right. So the history, right?
I do.
Really well. Okay. So you mentioned Prince.
Yes,
and so what is the origins of the Skyline come from at all?
From what I understand, and a lot of reading and a lot of talking to people, Prince had the Skyline, the Hakuska, and they were looking at a design build and everything like that. In the process, Nissan was buying into it, bought the old designs, and they needed something to liven up sales. Now you have to understand, a Hako is by no means a fast car.
No.
But because it was the history, the first one to wear the badge, and it set something in motion, and all of a sudden it went out on the track, and it was beating everything out there. So it started its racing heritage early. The problem was, as with any late 60s car, even our muscle cars, most of them were never treated for rust. They were never undercoated. They were never done anything like that.
Like they came with rust from the factory.
I don't know what production was on them. I know it was very small in the first run. And to get one with that type of racing heritage and everything is no different than when we got the 32s. So Nissan over time period.
Sorry.
I'm not an earthquake here. You get the Ken Mary Skyline, comes in out after it. And everybody wonders, where did the Ken Mary name come from? Any ideas? Dan?
Nope.
Okay.
The name of a guy?
A movie.
No. Nissan had an ad campaign, and the two actors through this whole ad campaign for the Skyline was Ken and Mary.
Okay. So they just said, it's the Ken Mary Skyline.
Ken Mary Skyline. Other notable interest is Paul Newman was involved in Skylines.
Very much so.
And the DR30 Newman edition is actually a quite sought after car. I learned about these. I'd never seen one.
The 30?
The
DR30?
The DR30? Yeah. So Newman was big into racing for Nissan for many years. And then he has ads also available. You can find them on YouTube. And he discusses winning Skylines.
Right.
So yeah, the RS Turbo, red and black, Newman edition. It was gorgeous. To me, it's one of the classier cars.
Yeah, I agree. And Newman was actually into the Z32s as well. And raced them. They were the red, white, and blue.
Yep.
And they were maybe even the Z30 at first, and then the 31, and it was all wide bodied and everything. It was like in an IMSA class, I believe, or something like that. And then the 32, and that 32 race car, I remember that car. I'm an old man, but I remember that car.
Hello.
Like when it was running on the track, I remember seeing it and being like, Yo, that car looks like good. I like that. You know,
Z32's
So
the race car ones,
yeah.
most
especially.
people don't realize how big Nissan's racing heritage is, and I've got it half covered up. But every one of those cars that are listed above me on
Yeah,
this,
I
sure,
see it.
okay,
Yeah,
poster right there.
yeah.
Every one of those is a Nissan race car through the years. So the Hako's up there, let's readjust that again. The Hako's up there, the DR30s, the GTSR. You want to talk about a rare one. I mean, we know about the Autex, we know about
Yeah.
different ones like that, but the GTSR, as far as a production car, I have been blessed with two super rare cars down here at the shop. One is Chad Howell's R31 GTSR, and the
Nice.
other is Bobby O'Brien's N1.
What color
Oh,
is the GTSR?
it's blue, right?
It's a blue one. Yep.
Dark blue.
We've had it here. Chad shows it around. Um, it has a special engine. Nissan released the RB20 DET-R. Okay, it was only available
Okay.
in the GTSR. And what
Okay.
made it different, there's a very unique exhaust manifold, and it has a TO4E turbine instead of the standard T28.
So it's like a tubular manifold.
It's a
I,
tubular
yeah.
manifold, very, very unique. You
Sweet.
find the manifold
Up and
and the
backwards down.
cover together, you could probably buy a GTST.
Yeah.
I've seen that before. I think I have an opportunity to buy one of those with that manifold like that and everything. And I didn't get it. Someone outbid me and I just, you know what I mean? Because they're not that sought after here in the States.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, we have one. We have a 31 and it's a GTS. You know,
Right.
it's not a GTSX, it's not a GTSR, but man, it is clean and it's not
So
rusty.
yeah.
It is not, it's not rusty. Okay. Like
Which is a big deal
it
for an
is a big
R31.
deal. And
Yeah.
I already got a guy though. If he's watching, I'll call you back soon. Okay. I know you left a message earlier about putting a deposit down.
Yeah.
Like this guy wants it, you know, but I would take this car because it is.
There are a lot of guys that are out there, older generation like us,
Mm-hmm.
that were military, that you have to remember those cars were new when they were over
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
there. Okay. And out of most military price range at the time, nobody went down and bought a brand new car when you're going to be there 3 years
Mm-hmm.
or 4 years or 2 years, depending on if you're a Marine or not. And so getting these cars when you first get to Island, like I said, I bought a GTST 1989. I got to have a Skyline. I had no
Right.
idea there used to be a DR30. I had no idea of a
You were
Hako
just
or
like, this
Kenberry.
is
I
the
had
one I
nothing.
can buy.
It's on the lot. I can afford it. $6,500. Here you go. You take payments.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I could have bought a 5-speed downtown for $1,500, but didn't know that.
But this was a dealer that was right off of base right there, right? So
Right. And they
they're
came
taking
to
advantage of
Americans. They gave
you
you
know.
a 30-day warranty. They'd fix everything on the car as long as you told them, hey, the paint's messed up or this, that. Sure, because they were buying them on auction at $800,
Right.
and they're selling to an American for $6,500.
They were cleaning up.
Oh yeah, and they I mean the ships were coming in just packed with them, and there were a couple of dealerships like that, especially in Okinawa. But the quest to have a Skyline and then find other Skyline owners. So you have to go to multiple bases. Not everybody had one. They were very expensive to have a GTR.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
military wise, at the time, I believe there were 8 of us that had GTRs.
In
And there were actually 2
Okinawa.
Americans that had R34 GTRs.
Nice.
$65,000, brand new.
Yeah.
The officers.
No, civilians, civilian contractors.
Okay. Okay.
Contractors.
Okay.
That's yeah.
Yeah. They were
So
making the money.
I met a man by the name of Ken Morrison, who had a R31 GTS automatic RB20E. I mean, the lowest grade I think you could get other than the station wagon at the time.
So it was really fast.
Yeah, those are quick.
On Okinawa, yes, because your main speed limit was 30 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But I watched and helped with the transition of that car, and now Ken Morrison's R31 is one of the most renowned in Okinawa. He's still over there. He was actually a high school student when he first met us. And then I had Daryl Ferguson come down from mainland. He had owned his R31 GTS-X for quite a few years. He had a Testarossa 2.2 kit in it. He had a diff done in it and big clutch and everything. And those two were the 31s. So there's a love lost with the 31 and me. It's a great online joke between Ken and Daryl and myself that I have enough scars on my hands from those two rusty things trying to help them and doing everything. And I said I'd have to get a tetanus shot every time I turned around because something was wrong.
Yeah.
Then Daryl Ferguson is responsible for me getting back into Skylines. I was actually an overseas contractor at the time. He says, "Hey, Sean, here's one for you. Skylines are legal back in the United States." I didn't know anything about the 25-year rule at the time. Global Auto had a beautiful KH2, R35 brakes, Getrag 6-speed, Truss 2.7, TA8, 800 horsepower on Nismo LMGT1s. Oh, no, I'm sorry, TE37s, black chrome, big exhaust, everything. Nice. It was gorgeous.
Yeah.
One of the competitors that is no longer a competitor is who I was told to contact. Made the phone call. They said, "Yep, Global Auto has that. We can get it for you. Put down a deposit of a little north of $45,000.
Wow.
That was going to get it in. That was going to get it prepped. That was going to put it in my hands. Transfer the money. It's going to be mine. I couldn't build the car for that.
Right.
You still couldn't build that car for that.
No, not even close.
And not even find a Truss 2.7 stroker kit.
No.
So Daryl and I talked and others talked, and I'm going for it. But the blue plate had been completely acid washed out of the car or removed because all that was there was a chrome plate in its place. It wasn't a VIN swapped car. It just wasn't there. At the time, Customs was real heavy about inspecting everything on those cars. And I was worried that it would get all the way to the United States, go into Jacksonville, and they were going to frustrate it and send it back.
Yeah.
And then I'm out all the money. So we negotiated for a couple of days, and finally I said no. But the Skyline bug was back in me. So I had to have it.
Yeah.
Jumped on eBay, picked up one. It was $14,600. Number 6 cylinder was gone, but I knew what I was doing. I'm working on them.
Yeah.
You were like, I can fix that.
Brought it back here. And that got me back into them. I've had 4 now in the United States.
That you
the original one, GTRs. I pulled the original engine on the first one, was starting to do it. And then, like I said, it started with, hey, Leo needs a clutch. Hey, so-and-so needs a clutch. Hey, this guy needs a clutch.
Right.
Hey, can you fix my car? It's misfiring. Can you do this? I'm getting calls from all over Florida.
And then I've got a bunch of customers. Hey, I live in Florida. I need work done. And then you stopped by, and then I just said, call
Send
Sean
it that
Kirby.
way.
Yeah.
Call him up. He can get you fixed up.
So I ended up with 2 AH3 cars and 2 KH2 cars. I currently own my last KH2, fully documented, just like the one you sold to Mr. Soka. I've got the cassette tape, which half the guys don't even know what that's for. I've got all the Shotkin records. I've got the owner's manual. I've got all the shipping documentation, Shotkin from every one that was done ever in the car. One owner car.
Oh, damn. Nice.
Picked it up with a blown engine.
Again.
Absolutely immaculate underneath. I mean, I can't even say surface rust. There's like water has splashed past it, and it has like a little tiny rust trail that I could wipe off with my finger.
Yeah.
Undercarriage is absolutely beautiful, still on stock wheels, still on stock suspension. And I pulled the motor. I put in a semi-built RB26, new crank, new block, JE pistons, who were actually one of the first manufacturers of pistons for the RB26 in the United States back in the day.
Yeah.
Got a set of Eagle rods, ACL race bearings. I have the Blitz kit, similar to the upper twins you guys did. Mine are purple.
Yep.
The Triple K Blitz K26, 27
Yep.
kit.
Yep, that works. That kit.
Yeah,
That car gets down.
So I put all that together. I put a Nismo copper mix behind it, single plate, and I still haven't driven it. It started up once. I bought the turbo kit used. Wastegates were bad. Turbos were bad. Sent those out. $2,000 in rebuilds and new teal wastegates. Jamie was kind enough to do complete full exhaust for me. Stainless steel, up fab. And then I realized I had a balance tube leak. And that's when everybody realized I worked on Skylines. So all of a sudden I've got 6 in the door and I have no time for myself. So it's been sitting.
About that.
Yeah, they give me a hard time all the time because I got a Sylvia drift project in the back. You know, when are you going to work on it? When are you going to work on it? I'm like, I don't know.
Forget, I was also there after you crashed the last one.
Which I now have that drivetrain.
Yeah,
so
he's the
that was all that was left.
He's the beneficiary of it.
You know, this brings up
a bumper.
You know,
front bumper we took off.
We talk about damn it Yoshi. That's a term brought up by Daryl Ferguson, and it's all of us trying to fix all the electrical problems in these cars. So you'll pull up a passenger side floorboard and you've got the amplifier, you've got the navigation, you've got, you know, all the stuff hidden there that you didn't know about. And I thought, oh, we got this licked. We got guy's car come in. We pulled 17 different components out of it. I probably had 4 boxes of wires and everything like that.
CJ's having like a convulsion somewhere in the distance.
Yes, if CJ's watching.
So here I come visit Mr. Chris Driver, Mr. Ed, CJ, everything. And here sits this broken S13. And CJ pulls the dash back and half of Italy's spaghetti falls out of it.
I was like, that picture, man.
Oh, there man, is no way I have ever found a car with that many. I mean, Mercedes doesn't put that much into it.
I know.
I'm pretty sure Space Shuttle didn't have that much wiring in it.
I mean, the amount of copper.
Yeah, I mean, well, even when we were tearing the car, this was after. So after they figured out how to pull out that entire alarm system or part of it and still make the car run.
Oh, yeah. But it still had the push button start.
It still had the push button start.
It had push button start. The window would come down when you open the door and then shut it. You know, like a newer car, the window would come down a little bit and shut and then go back up. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
It had that in it.
But I don't know, when we were tearing that car completely down, because it just sat in the back for a while.
Yeah.
And we finally stripped the chassis and kept what we could, you know. So we got the glass out of it and I think there was a cage in there that we could use most of.
The back portion of.
The back portion of. But then there was a bunch of other like cool little bits and pieces on it, and front and rear bumper were good. One side skirt was good. The whole hatch is good.
I love those side skirts too, with the extra little piece that fills in the door where the door will come in like that. It had an extra piece there that filled that.
Yeah, it was like a kick panel almost. It was cool.
I love that kit.
But when we were stripping that out and we got dash out, and it was we literally just did one of these like, how did this car Yeah.
CJ was lifting the dash up trying to find something, and all the stuff started falling out. I was like, what the heck? And then it slid back. And it was so molded into the everything all in the top. And I'm like, how did they ever get the dashboard to slide over all of that?
I don't know.
I mean, I will say the person who put it together was meticulous because of all the connector boxes, everything that was in there was great. And it was good connections.
Well,
but why?
Worked.
Yeah, exactly why.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I think we
got to find that picture.
I don't know if there's
it's on Instagram.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's on Instagram.
All right, let me try and find
from
it.
a long
Actually, in I think it's season 1, episode 34. It's after your crash video.
Yeah.
I come up and there's a segment of it where he pulls it back and you can see everything. I was over his shoulder when I was
in the video.
Let me try and find that video.
It's I don't understand. I don't know why anyone in their right mind would ever have that much. And what are you running? What are you doing with it? And it was really alarming. We had a GTR in a long time ago. Like when it was just me pretty much running the whole business. And it had an alarm in that was, like into the car and into the wiring of the chassis harness and everything. And I looked at that thing and because I was thinking, I'm going to take this alarm out because it would like lock the doors sometimes and stuff like that. And I looked at it and I just said, nope, this alarm system is staying in here. I'm just going to replace the battery and the key fob here. Hopefully everything's good. But it was not as bad as that car, but just the alarm system was integrated in and had a ton of wires, extra little control boxes, that did crazy things. I don't even know what you need it for. It's insane. There.
All right, we won't show the footage of the crash, but maybe it's in this video.
It should be. Maybe it's gonna be past this.
I'm trying to figure out. Okay, that's
should be in the one with the little minivan that had the disco lights.
But yeah, I don't know. That's got to be the winner.
And
of the most.
Oh,
here it is.
Found it. All right, let me back up just a second.
Yeah, we're gonna post it.
I'm gonna share. Let me share this real quick.
Okay.
And
people just don't know how bad this can be.
Yeah, so check this
how
out.
Bad it can be.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And that's not even half of it.
That's not even a quarter of it.
Yeah, this is just on the bottom part of the panel.
That's just on like by the kick panel. That's not even like underneath the
whole
entire dash
was like this.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
There's the blue RX-7.
Oh, that car was great. Once you put the Rega Masters.
Oh, this reverse Lambo door.
Reverse Lambo doors, yeah.
Yeah, wait for it. Oh.
But I mean, like we kept a lot of the interior stuff, everything was
I mean
still great in it,
Yeah, we did good for it,
Yeah, and I mean the drivetrain was still good, so I have that.
Actually, that car was twisted.
It was.
The front was basically hit on all four corners, and the front was really just beyond repair.
I'll be back in a second. I'm grabbing a magazine.
Okay,
go ahead. But yeah, that car, insane. But it had an S15 SR in it.
Yes.
Had a Greddy intake manifold, a Greddy 18G turbo, a Greddy exhaust manifold.
Yeah. What clutch is it?
It's a OS Geiken twin disc for an SR,
clutch.
which is they don't make it anymore. So like when it goes, I can't get a rebuild kit for it, but it's still cool.
It works. It's nice.
So like I have that now.
Yep.
And I'm working on my car.
I will never put a piece from a wrecked car into my car. It's superstition.
Well, you're gonna have to buy some new arms and stuff because
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
you
I
got to
got
buy
some
some arms.
arms.
But
So
But
one of the things that uh, a lot of guys don't pay attention to or weren't part of the scene back in years and years ago is a lot of like hyper rev
yeah,
mm,
would come up
got
with the GTR stuff.
a bunch of them.
Okay, so the theme in my office, if you can see, is there's red walls, there's all this on the back side. So I've got
Nice.
black and all my uh, flags and Nismo and everything like that. And we've got a pretty nice design in all the cars we've got.
yeah.
So the theme of the office was red and black, similar to what, you know, we've got a red black chair. You guys have red black chairs.
Yep.
So I wanted something to set around in my office. So I got a red and black Hyper Rev. Didn't think
Nice.
nothing about it. At the time, we had a couple cars here already that we were transferring from an old building, and we had an open house. And I had Jesus Canati standing here, and he says, "Oh, I see your Japanese magazine. You mind if I take a look at it?" I said, "Sure, not a problem." And we always wonder what the history of these cars are. Now, Chris, you can speak to how clean the car was when you got it. And it's all white, and I think you guys did the wheels on it and dressed it up a little bit, but it was kind of weird because it had a sticker on the front of the engine that said Murayama R&D.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sitting here, of course, Jesus's car is outside, and we're like, you know, wouldn't it be the shits and giggles if your car turned up in a magazine someday? That is Murayama R&D in this Hyper Rev, and that is Jesus's car.
That's awesome.
That's crazy cool.
Let
So
me
if
see
you
the
remember, he
bottom of the
had
page.
we had all the pictures of the Koyo and the everything like
That's
that,
it. That's it. That's the
and the dual
car.
suspension. So one thing we never know
That's awesome.
what's done with the car is usually the engine.
Yeah.
Okay, you can bring a car in and it's got stock exhaust, it's got everything on it, but you get in and all of a sudden it's got GTSS turbos, it's got an FCON V, it's got all
Mm-hmm.
this other stuff, but they put this stock exhaust on to get it through an inspection, found out how much it was going to cost, and they just auction off the car. So you never know that there was a sports cat on it. You never know that there may have been a Veilside Evolution on it or anything like that. And very rarely will you ever find this.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So yes, a car Chris Driver sold that's actually at my shop was magazine worthy in Hyper Rev from a very well-known shop. And we took that and we went to, I think it's Mini Cara, the little Japanese forum for
Mhm.
guys that build cars and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
We found the second owner, and we found other things that he described he had done to the car. And he even says, you see the magazine dream car, and it's broken English, of course. You see the magazine dream car and never believe you'll own it. So the kid grew up around the car, knew Mr. Murayama. He had bought the car, and then it ended up in your hands. And now
That's
it's sitting
pretty
down
crazy.
here getting everything upgraded. It had a BR computer in it.
Mm-hmm.
And we've upgraded that to Hall Tech. We've upgraded to E85. We've done a few other things for him, a lot of interior work, and he'll have that on the road very soon. But that just shows you, you buy it from an auction, you have no history on the car. 9 times out of 10, it's out of a dealership. It's not a private seller taking it to the auction.
Yeah.
And you find these small tidbits of these cars. So with like Chad's, he has a history on his GTSR. He knows some of the owners and stuff, but we had to fix a bunch of things that people got into, such as the wiring and stuff. But if you ever play Forza Horizon and you pick a GTSR as an R31 as your car, you'll be amazed to know that that car was modeled after Daryl Ferguson's R31 GTSR he owned.
That's cool.
He has a certificate for it. The car has since been sold. Daryl has a pretty stout R31 down in Houston, Texas. And he is the owner of an Autech R31,
Oh,
a champagne color. So it's neat to learn some of these cars and what their histories are and where did you get them and how did you know and this and that. Um, I like to know some of the history. Where
Yeah.
did you buy it? Where did that car come from? What type of area was it in? As we've said, you can get a Hokkaido car or an Okinawa car and they are rusted through, but you can get a Tokyo car that has literally 23,000 kilometers on it because they don't drive them.
Yeah.
And they sit, and it's usually an owner that has found out how much it would cost to repair all the CV boots, all the oil leaks, get the shock tin done and everything. And the cost of an American owner overseas in the military is about half of what it is for a Japanese owner. So when you start talking a shock tin and insurance and putting tires on and everything every 2 years to meet this, all of a sudden, as the car gets older, the cost to put it on the road outweighs operational cost.
Yeah.
So if you've got something with 23,000 kilometers just sitting in the garage and you want to take it for a Sunday drive, it could cost you upwards of $5,000 to get it registered and get everything passed to drive it for 2 years.
Yeah.
So that's why we're seeing a lot of these cars. The Y32s are perfect examples.
Yeah.
They're usually reserved like a Lincoln Town Car is here in the United States.
Yeah.
Usually a retired or a Cadillac. Retired people, they're done. They want a final car. They want to be able to haul the kids. They want to do all that stuff. They buy it, but it may be in Tokyo or it may be in Yokohama where there's heavy traffic, and they only drive it on holidays or they drive it on weekends. So you're bringing in Y32s with 62,000 kilometers or 27,000 kilometers.
Oh,
some of them are low.
Some of them are super low.
I
mean, like
26,000 miles.
And it's crazy when you see these cars. I mean, they
like brand new
they
cars.
still smell brand new on the inside, which is
They're
crazy because
hardly
like
used.
most of the cars that you import have this like very distinct like
80s
JDM smell, as we like to call it. It's like a
It's
JDM
called
smell.
cigarettes.
Yeah. But like for some reason with the Y32 chassis, most of them still have that like new interior smell, which is crazy.
And I mean,
well, when you get into something like Monica's, hers is the upper end of the spectrum. It had the infotainment system in it.
Yeah.
It had the leather interior. It had all kinds of stuff. That car was on the upper end of, that was more than a Skyline.
Yeah, right. It cost more than a Skyline when it was new to buy.
Right. But now it's a third of the cost of a Skyline today.
Yeah.
Because the VIP scene started under one area. So you normally had the mafia that couldn't get a Mercedes.
Yeah.
But they wanted something classic, something that offset them, that made them look important. So a SEMA or a Gloria, and they modified it with the big wheels and they did all that. Now that has turned around, and now Grandpa died and his Gloria is sitting there. So they give that to the younger generation. And the younger generation, it's the first car. It's a big car. Awesome. Depending if it's a SEMA with a V8, it could be a very expensive car for them to maintain.
Yes.
So what do? They go out and get their 100-year loan. They put a full body kit on it. They do everything. And if you watch a lot of these guys that are younger that are driving these VIP cars, they have temporary license plates on them because
Did
they
you
can't.
say 100-year loan?
There is a 100-year loan available in Japan. That's what they usually buy their house with. And it's low interest, real low interest.
How do they make money on that?
Go ahead and look at what it costs for real estate.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. Okay, so there is no way, like we're buying brand new cars, $70,000, Chevrolet pickup truck at the dealership, and you're getting it for 7 to 8 years now.
Yeah.
Just for 70,000. So imagine when you're looking at like $1.2 million to buy
a house,
size of house that you live in now in Japan. There's no way in your current lifetime. So yeah, it gets expensive real quick.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So they'll.
Yeah, I love these Y32s, man. They're I'm
gorgeous.
going to own one day because they're like Jeff 503 is saying here in the comments, they're just so affordable. You know, and they're
I know a guy that is the top seller of those Y32s in the United States right now.
yeah, I think he might. I think I
Yeah.
might know him too.
Yeah. Forget his name.
Yeah, and it's funny because we were talking about this a couple weeks ago when we were trying to find, or Ed was looking at some like on like he was looking at some cars in auction, help Chris like go through and weed through some stuff before you see them.
Really.
Yeah, dealers. But like it's funny because I think we've screwed ourselves. Like
the prices are so high now.
They're raising the prices of them because we're buying them and people are buying them now.
We used to be able to buy them for cheap.
But see, it's not only you that's doing this.
Other people
Russians. The Russians are actually pulling those cars huge because they can get big cars now, and they're buying them up. Lots of videos of the Y32s out in Russia and what they're doing.
Oh, they love the JZX.
They love
JZXs, man. Every video I see of like hooning JZXs, it's always the Russians out there, whooping it up.
But I'm excited for the Y33s. I can't wait.
I like the Y32 better.
32.
But see,
I'm like a Gloria or Cedric.
I'm a bigger, I like big
looking
body cars. So like the 33 is a little bit bigger, a little bit longer.
It just doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, I love 32s though.
I mean, look at the natural fender flaring.
Oh, I know.
On that,
it's gorgeous.
And then the line that runs right down there. I mean,
we're staring.
We're staring at one.
Yeah.
Chris, answer this to me because I'm seeing it more than anybody. So I have Jesus, who has a GTR, and he has a SEMA.
Yeah.
I have Monica, who has a GTR and a SEMA.
Yes.
I have. You just sold Javon his beautiful evergreen one.
He wants a R32 now as well.
I'm seeing a lot of trend with an R32 first time owner that realizes the cost and maintenance and everything on an R32 and then jumps into a Y32 for either the spouse or for their daily cruiser.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they're perfect dailies.
Yeah, they are.
They are. I mean, like these cars, like you said earlier, I mean, 90% of them are really low miles.
And then we put brand new coilovers on them. So
I mean,
brand new suspension.
We have a formula for them. Like we've got 3 Y32s coming in. We've already got 3 sets of Fortune Autos.
Coilovers ready to go.
We've already got wheels bought for them because we're constantly scouring.
Yeah.
So I mean, and we know what is what goes wrong with them, the tension rods.
But the other side of the coin is I can roll into a car show with a 32 GTR and every kid can point it right out, brakes next, not a big deal.
Yeah.
I roll in with a Gloria, not even on wheels, not anything like that.
Yeah.
Right.
And the older generation,
they love it.
What is that?
Yeah.
And they see the back end and they're like, is that a Jag? Like an old Jag?
Yeah.
And then they see the front end. No, it's a Bentley.
Right.
No, it's a Nissan.
It's a Nissan.
No. Did you see the white one that we had? It was like full custom aero. We did a lot of work to that one, but it had a different hood.
Yeah, it had the hood that actually matched the headlights.
So it like rounded over that. And people literally had no idea what it was. It was because it like changed the entire front end of even the Cedric. Yeah. So it's even cooler.
Yeah, I like them a lot. I want to do an RB20 with 5-speed in a Y32.
Yeah.
On some nice.
I would actually look at the Z31 drivetrain, which is the RB20 or the VG30 DE.
Yeah.
That comes with a 5-speed and later on came with the turbo.
Yeah.
I'm an inline man. I'm an inline man. I like my inline 6s. I like my RB. I like my 2J, 1Js.
Now
those are the engines.
Yeah,
for me.
Quick side note.
Yeah.
The R31 that we have has a red top RB.
Finned.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's got the super sick coilover or covers.
Covers, yeah.
Nice but covers. Like there are so many differences between the red top and silver top that we are learning as we go on,
Just ask.
Yeah, well,
I
it's
can tell
pretty
you.
crazy. I mean, the biggest thing is like there's
What, the
just
injectors?
yeah,
The
you know,
injectors.
we have
It
to
also
replace the
depends on
injectors.
what version of the 30 or 31 you get.
Yeah,
Whether you got
because
the Nix
the Knicks
engine
for the ECCS,
or the
yeah,
X engine, and the throttle ports, because like the Nix engine is like a Toyota.
where it has
They
them
actually have
butterflies.
a butterfly system
Yeah,
that doesn't turn everything on. So you only get half of the intake volume until you're in upper RPM, and it opens it up and then
Yeah.
gives you the power.
Yeah,
yeah,
it's weird. It's supposed
wild.
to be better for torque, lower down RPM for torque or something, and then opening it up for more horsepower on the upper end. Kind of like the short runner, long runner.
Yeah,
Short runner is better for high RPM horsepower, and the longer runners will be better for torque down low.
yeah,
Just like a truck intake on an LS or LQ engine compared to the smaller, shorter
Right.
runners on a LS engine,
hmm
because the truck's supposed to have, needs more torque and so forth. So,
yeah.
but
Okay, Dan, I got a question for you.
Yes.
uh-oh.
You've been around all these cars that are coming through the doors.
Yeah.
You've been around cars for a while.
Yeah.
You have $15,000 in your pocket today.
Y32.
Y or R?
Y32.
I'm only hearing 32.
Y32.
Y32.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Chris, same question to you.
I have 15,000.
15,000. And I'm not talking just Nissans. You can pick anything.
Yeah, no, I know. And this would just be like my daily car that
It could
I'm
be
gonna
whatever.
run.
Whatever. You have $15,000 in any car you can buy out of Japan. What do you grab?
Probably a 32 four-door GTST.
I'll probably knock you both out of your chairs. Suzuki Cappuccino.
A
Those
Cappuccino.
are, dude, those are so fun.
It was modified and everything, and that thing like was a blast to drive. It was like
Yeah.
a go-kart.
You want to break necks? Show
Yeah,
up
no
with
kidding.
with something a little bit bigger than a Barbie car you can get at Walmart.
Right. Right.
Can you fit in one of those?
I can fit. I don't do well in the Honda Beat,
Yeah.
but I don't do well in the AZ1. The AutoZam, I can't get into it.
Yeah.
But the Cappuccino, although I sit like this over the windshield,
Right.
Everybody does.
is to me the epitome of a fun Japanese car.
Yeah.
I've
It's
driven
definitely
32s at 900 horsepower. I've driven Supras. I've driven muscle cars. That little quick and nimble thing is better than a Miata in my eyes.
Yeah.
And to to be able to put two of them nose to tail in a single parking place, or lay down in front of it and you're longer than the wheelbase, for 15 grand, I can put together one hell of a Cappuccino.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, I feel the same way you do about the Cappuccino as the MR2s. They're just such a blast to drive. They're real nimble, but you could also, it's a little bit more.
I was thinking about MR2.
It's a little bit more
when
comfortable.
you asked, like,
Yeah.
that was my other choice that I was grappling with. And then I'd say also R33 four-door GTS.
Well, that's like a dream car for me.
I'd
though.
take
I sent
either
one in the
of
chat the other
those.
night, and I was just like,
They're nice.
yeah.
They're nice.
See, I'm a big body guy. I
but
like
think
VIP
I
cars.
like the 32 better a little bit. It still would outweigh that. But a nice MR2
Yeah.
with 30,000 miles on it, pretty stock. Maybe it's got some coilovers on there, some nicer wheels, and just something to drive. I mean, they are a blast and big man friendly, actually. Like, they're not that small inside. You can fit in there. Like, it's comfortable.
It is.
It really is. Like,
Yeah.
when I hadn't driven one at all ever in my life, and I always thought like, oh man, it's pretty small. And then we got one in, and I was the one going to the port, right? And so I'm picking up this MR2, and I'm like, man, I hope I can at least fit in it to get it up on the trailer and everything,
Right.
So But then I get in and I'm like, oh, okay. This is totally fine. Like I'm not even having any trouble struggling.
Yeah.
Like the cappuccino is small, and then we'll get some GTRs in or GTSTs with these little,
FDs.
the FDs
I don't
with
know
the
what it
little
is about
brid
FDs,
seats. The
but
little brid seats, they're like this wide. Literally.
Yeah.
They're this wide. They're as wide as my head. And I'm supposed to fit my fat ass in there. And I'm like, I'm sitting on the
rails,
edges of the seat.
Yeah.
Like this, driving the car up on the trailer, like, oh my God. And it's like, this is a $45,000 Skyline today. Back then it was maybe 30,000, but, and
one
I'll
of
get
my
this.
first experiences with Japanese butt seats.
Yeah.
We were at a drift event in Nago Circuit in Okinawa, and I had my GTS 25 or GTS-T Type M. I'm just ripping the hell out of tires. I went through like 4 sets in the rear, and still automatic. Just lock it down in first and go slide it all over the place, throwing smoke everywhere. Thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And the Okinawa girls drifter team was there, and one of the girls had a Hachi, or an A86 for those who don't know what that is. And I thought, oh, let me go for a ride with her. So she gets out and she's slinging this thing all over the place, just doing awesome. She says, okay, you try. And I got in the passenger seat, and like you said, I'm sitting up on top of the seat rails. I cannot get my butt down inside that seat.
There's no way.
I'm trying to put on these things, and it's stuck me in the back. And I literally have my knees are spread as far as they can be, and I'm trying to unclutch, and she's got a button clutch on off. So you're tacking it up, and you got to tack it like $4,000 to get this clutch to engage.
Right.
And you're trying to slide, and your foot's falling off the clutch, and I'm locked in, and I'm banging my head off the damn window. That's it. I did 2 laps, and I was out.
Yeah, like I'm over this. Yeah, I mean they're so tiny. There's no way I could possibly fit. And we'll get several cars in. Like we got the NSX right now that I can't fit that. I cannot fit that car. I couldn't fit it that very good even with the stock seats in it. Like we had a red one that we had come in, and I drove that. And you're laid way back.
Yeah.
Like you're way laid back, and the footwell is small.
It is.
I noticed, like as I'm driving it, my toes are hitting the top, the sides of my feet. There's nowhere to rest practically,
Right.
And
It's a race car.
Because I drove it up to the drift event.
Oh yeah.
And it was like a 2-hour drive.
Through the mountains
and stuff. But I was like, cool, let me drive this NSX through the mountains. This is going to be fun.
He regretted it.
After about an hour in, I'm like, oh shit, I still got 3 hours. I got to drive this car, man. And it's just too tight for me. It's too tight.
Best quote I ever heard on something like that is from Captain Slow from Top Gear. And he says, never drive your dream.
Yeah.
And he says that just as he's talking about the Lamborghini Countach on the video.
Yeah.
And he's like, every boy, we had that. We had Samantha Fox on our wall. We had the Lamborghini on our wall.
Yep.
He says, but here I am, I'm 45 years old or whatever. He says, I get into it. He says, this is the worst car I've ever driven in my life. You got to be jam it into the gears. It's uncomfortable. It's noisy. You can't see out the back window. The air conditioner is like an 80-year-old asthmatic trying to blow out a birthday candle. He said, this is horrible. He says, I wish I'd have left it on my wall.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, Dan. So do we have any questions since we've been gabbing and gabbing?
We've been blabbing.
I don't think we have any questions. If
Questions,
you guys do want to get in some questions, go ahead and get them in. There's a little bit of a delay here.
Yeah, there is a little delay.
So we'll give them a minute to kind of get some questions together. But I don't know, going back to like the 15K thing, I'm a practical kind of person. I'm building a drift car that's going to be practically a drift car and
you
cheap.
Realize that drift car and practicality don't. No.
I'll say this.
He got it cheap.
I got the shell for $300. I managed to get the title for it, and it's 140,000 mile S chassis shell, which is like unheard of. There's zero rust. The pinch welds are spectacular. There's a couple little dings in it. That's it. But
It's
it
a
was
little
hit.
tweak.
It was hit in the front end, and I cut all that
Little
off, and
tweak.
I'm working on tubing it. I got my swap from Chris, perk of the job, pretty cheap, really cheap. And
I hooked
so,
my
like,
boy up.
realistically, I'm gonna have a low mile, well, 140,000 miles being low, S15 SR 2 front drift car on coilovers that I already have for free. I maybe will have $4,500 in this thing, like kitted, paint matched, all said and done. So like that's pretty cheap for like.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing all the work himself.
Yeah.
Right.
And
On your time.
Yeah, on my time.
That's
yeah. Like I was here till 9 o'clock last night. You know.
Yep,
Right.
he was out here working in it.
But-
Working on it till late.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what you got to do, though.
Yeah.
Put in the elbow grease.
But I mean,
But that's the grassroots
my previous
drifter. right
previous
here,
car
you
was
know?
an LS swap car that was like full wide body. It had everything. Yeah, thanks, Ed.
240 hatch.
Yeah, and I mean, I had probably $25,000 in that car. Don't tell my wife. Hopefully, she's not watching. But like,
There's Jesus's white
yeah,
GTR up there.
but yeah, I mean, going back to like practicality, like I want something that I can drive every single day. A Y32 is perfect for that. Fortune Auto coilovers, wheels, and it's done. It looks gorgeous.
Right, you don't need to.
It's comfortable.
modify it,
Like I can
lot.
throw a kid in the back seat. We can all go cruise. It's still cool that you pull up. It's right hand drive, so people.
Well,
It's
the other
stoplights.
aspect of it is, mine's the Gloria Ultima Turbo,
yeah.
and we jumped in. It's pearl white. It's been in an accident with my daughter, so that's why it's not on the road. But when it was operational, I was not afraid to get in that car and drive 5 hours to Jacksonville. I'd have driven it up to you
Mhm.
and never thought, and it
Yeah.
will do 100 miles an hour without even thinking about it going down the highway.
Oh, the gears are long.
Yeah, they are long.
The gears are long. It's a cruiser.
Yeah.
It is. And when you smack that VG turbo in,
It
it's
gets
not
fast,
a
kid.
race car, but it'll get you down the road.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will.
That white one that I was talking about earlier with the crazy. That's what this one was. It was a
That
Ultima
one had a
VG30 DET with exhaust, so it sounded
intake
just
exhaust, and
Yeah.
so it was running a little more boost than
Yeah.
normal as well. But yeah, that thing sounded.
sounded
you
mean.
did love that car. You love that
dude,
car.
and I had
You
a lot
love
of
that
time
car.
in that car too.
Yeah,
So
and
it was
you
like,
were the one that like test drove it all the time. We were always like, "Hey Dan, how's it doing?" Oh my god, I love that.
it had
you know.
Recaro confettis in it.
Yeah, it had Recaro
you know.
confettis. It was like it was nice. A sports sedan,
Yeah.
you know. A sports sedan for Dan.
That and it was big wide wheels on
Yeah,
it.
it had some deep dish.
Yeah,
some
it had like
dish to it.
5-inch lips on the back. So
Yeah.
it was
nice.
it was pimping
I-
legitimately.
I like that car too.
LED taillights,
LED like
LED front.
blinkers in the front.
Yeah, I don't know. It was sweet.
It was cool. It was
All
a
right.
lot very custom, you know.
Yeah.
I laid down a challenge last year and we didn't get any cars done, neither one of us.
No,
Yeah.
I know.
So the shootout is actually on again this year.
Okay.
I'm not saying personal cars.
I don't have anything.
Will
Chris
you
literally doesn't own a vehicle
I
right
don't
now.
own a vehicle.
No, hear me out.
Not one. I drive whatever's on the lot.
So I'm seeing another rival shop trying to put a car together this year in the R32 chassis that believes that they're going to be the fastest in the land.
Okay.
Is there an American owner that is working through your shop right now that would possibly have something that Driver Motorsports is going to build that could be at the shootout this year?
By
the end of this year? I don't think
When
so.
is it?
We're looking, I think it's September.
I mean, we're not going to have anything that's going to be a true race car that I can bring out and have confidence with, that's going to really get down the track with.
All right, I'm firing Josh then.
This would be more of a street car that you take to the track,
Yeah.
more so than a true purpose-built, car. And that's what you really need if you're going to go compete against someone else that's saying we're going to be the fastest shop. Is it Batchel?
No.
Now next year, different ball game.
Who else? Let me think.
It's in Texas.
In Texas. Oh, Shinku?
The other people that
I don't know. They must not be that good.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
No, I mean this year we won't, but next year.
Yeah, hopefully next year.
Yeah.
But it's just, you know how long these things take.
Oh, I do.
Forever,
That's why I'm asking, is there anything possible this year? Or do we need to drop the gauntlet for next year?
Yeah, it would be
issue a shop challenge, since you're not only an importer, you're actually doing diagnostics, you're actually doing repairs, you're doing
builds,
add-ons,
full
you're
builds,
repairing from prior customers and customers that were not yours.
Yes.
So do we drop the gauntlet, especially with the COVID and all that other stuff that went on? Do we drop the gauntlet of shop drag and see who comes out on top?
Shop drag 2021. We need like a reality show with it. Like, we've got our end covered. We can film all our stuff.
We'll have to get you. We'll like send you a vlog camera and just let you film around, like going over the car.
So is it going to be Poor People's Racing versus Drive Motorsports versus who's the Texas place?
It's not. I'm not saying it's a shop car. I'm saying a car you built for a customer.
Built by us.
Built by you.
Right. It could be owned by whoever.
It could be owned by whomever.
That's great for me because I don't want to own it. Okay. But we'll build it. We can drive it. We can run it. Okay. But this year, September.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not gonna happen. It would have to be, we'd have to say 2021.
Yeah.
We can have something ready to go.
What's going to be hard is one of those customers of mine was a customer of yours. So I don't know how we qualify that. And his car is not going to be any joke. And another car that's currently in production right now is not going to be a joke. And he's running, well, I'll give you a little bit of an idea of the turbos we're working with. Customer one, ex-customer of yours that purchased a car through you, G51R. Second customer, twin HKS GT3037Ss.
Those are big boys.
Nice.
For twins.
Third customer is a EFR 9280.
All right.
That's bigger.
Yep.
So those are my hitters right now. I know you guys got some stuff in the works.
Are any of them automatic?
None.
Because that's just going to be the toughest thing is, if maybe we'd have to have
we can have different classes,
like, auto or, manual.
We can do.
That would be the way to do it. Otherwise, the autos are going to take it.
No, the best thing we should do is cap at horsepower.
No.
And I'd have to turn two of them down.
No.
Yeah.
As much horsepower as you can bring,
per class.
bring it, is what I say.
What we're saying is you run what you brung.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that 100%.
And we aren't necessarily driving them. We could. I'm sure. I know one of the cars, the guy would hand me the keys in a second.
Yeah.
Right.
These guys are putting dollars.
Sure.
Big dollars.
Okay. They could buy 232 GTRs for some of the stuff they put in these cars.
Yeah. 3.
I think not only with us, but we're the start of this. Somebody has said they're going to do it. I'll believe it when I see it. but they will not drive the car. The shop owner will not drive the car.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at right now, we're throwing this down between us.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure Brandon could bring
Yeah.
the customers, and it'll be a GTR.
I'm sure
And
he's
it can
got
be a
some
33 now
fast
because we're
cars.
legal on those.
Yeah.
I know Dylan Crumley, who at Countersteer, he's currently building a R33.
Okay,
That's
cool.
a shop car. Whether it's his own or not, I don't know.
Right.
Dylan will be able to maybe talk to Dylan in the future,
That's
or
what
even
I'm
Brandon.
saying. I don't care if it's owned by the shop or the shop built it, just the shop built it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the most important thing.
Yep.
You know, if you put too
that's
many
where I'm laying
rules
it.
out there, too many rules with everything, then hardly anyone's going to show
Yeah.
up because their cars don't fit the criteria that you're putting
Right.
in. So you might as
And
well just make
this
it
is
wide
something
open.
that I want to bring out. So Robbie Minoletti is currently running the drag page for Skylines in the US, and he's trying to keep track of stuff overseas.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got a decent car that's running. We've got Tyler that's out there, and he's got a pretty mean package going. You have Mike at D Sport, who's currently the fastest RB in the United States.
I mean,
And he's the one he's opening it up as the RB class for us at the shootout. So he was all about run what you brung and everything, but as we discussed, some of these deadlines, they don't happen. It's stuck in
Yeah.
a machine shop. It's stuck waiting on parts from Japan.
yeah.
Right now, I mean, for the past 3 months, we haven't been able to hardly get anything.
Yeah, it's been
Manifold
rough.
I received today, that's been on order for 3 months.
Yeah.
And it was finished and it just shipped.
I mean,
So-
we do have that yellow car that's getting the larger turbos.
Okay.
Yeah.
No,
But
I mean,
it-
I mean,
there's
maybe
certain-
if it's a manual, and I know I'm going to be able to run up against other guys with manuals. I don't know if I'll drive it or the owner will drive it. I don't care. I will drive it
Yeah.
I mean, if you'll let me drive it, I'll drive it.
I'm not throwing that gauntlet down. I'm
Yeah,
not saying
right.
a personally owned vehicle.
Right. It doesn't
But
matter.
I am saying if the shop built it, it's a shop challenge.
Yeah.
And let's see what type of
Does it have to be all-wheel drive, Jim?
Okay.
Does it have to be all-wheel drive? That's one
it has to
question.
be RB powered.
Has to be RB powered. Okay.
Yeah.
So it can be a S13 with a RB 32 in it.
It could
Because
be a
that's
rolling
how-
shell.
All right.
What? You could-
Challenge
wait,
accepted,
1300?
man. We've got a couple of them back here. Just do it in the yellow car. We'll just turn that into a drag car.
Yeah.
We'll back half it.
But no, it's
RB
crazy. I
32
like
in
where
it.
you're going with this because
Yeah.
I think it'd be really cool to like get some of that battle
energy.
and that energy going in this scene because I mean the Australians are
They're killing it.
nobody's going to touch
They're
them for a
killing it.
while. Nobody's going to touch them for a
Uh-huh.
while.
And I mean, we're witnessing history this
America.
week.
Yeah, I mean
And-
they just that's the all-wheel drive record. So that's beating R35s, which that's
And
insane to
impressive.
think
Giddy is
about.
involved in this conversation.
Yeah.
Giddy does have a 32. And Giddy there was a long discussion. Sean Morris and a bunch of other people got involved, and Giddy jumped in. And I respect that man more than you would ever know, because he said, we were the top, and we thought we had the top, and somebody turned around and beat us. He says, everybody was chasing me for how many years?
Yeah.
And now I got to chase them. And Metro is no joke of a car,
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
but Giddy's going to come back out. Remember, we've been locked down. They've been locked down.
So everyone's been working
They're
on
just-
their
Yeah.
cars.
Everybody's been trying to get out and test and tune and when's the track
Sure.
opening and stuff like that. So I think this is a good thing.
Yeah.
I think shop rivalry, because I'll tell you right now, Mike at D Sport, he's all about bringing his car back out to try and beat somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, I have respect for those guys.
Yeah.
Like, they do nice work and they build some nice, powerful engines. And
Yeah.
they're good.
The one thing
we've got a piece of history being reborn right now. So Big Bird is being resurrected.
yeah.
Yep.
And Big Bird, I've seen some of the things that are coming out on Big Bird. I can't because of the back channels.
Right.
I can't divulge that to the public right now.
Right.
But it is well worth the resurrection. And there's going to be some surprised faces coming out on this. I'd love to start an East Coast, West Coast battle.
That would be cool too.
It's been known to happen. Sean does have family here in Florida and just might show up with one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I know Josh would absolutely
He's got family in Virginia as well.
eat up this this conversation because I mean
yeah.
he's a drag guy.
He's all about
I know.
He works on the teams and
yeah. So I mean that's his dream, is to, you know, run a drag R32, R33, whatever. Really probably an Evo would be his or a second gen Eclipse would be his top car. I don't, you know, whatever. But that would definitely be his top car. But he's all about taking cars to the strip and making them fast and getting them down to that other end. And so I know he will eat this up.
Oh yeah, he'd be all about this. And
you're going to see
it's publicity too.
Once some of this starts happening, once some of our shops get out there and we start putting numbers down.
Yeah.
You guys might whip us, you know, Mike from D Sport might whip us, whatever the case may be. That rivalry begins. And it's friendly. Look at us. We're sitting here.
Oh yeah.
But we're not.
We're talking about creating a rivalry just so we have one.
And I'm a drag background. I can cover light. And I'm not saying I'm driving the car.
Right.
But when this starts to happen and those numbers start to climb, and granted, it's customers' money.
Yeah.
When it starts going, well, who'd you get your car done by? Or who tuned your car? Or who did this? Those names start coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then they're going to be like, oh, I want it done by Poor People's Racing. They won the gauntlet shootout.
Yeah.
You know,
but
and then
at the same point, and we've done this quite a bit. We started the conversation with this. Oh, you're in Virginia? Dude, take it over, see Chris and Josh and Dan and CJ and everybody over there. Dyno's in-house. They can run it through for you. They can do all that.
Right.
Oh, you sold the car down to me? Okay, well, now that owner wants to build it up, but he couldn't do it because he just bought the car from you. 2 years later, all of a sudden it's sitting in my shop.
Mm-hmm.
So I think.
What are we going to do, though? We already have too much business. So what are we going to do then?
Conversation also before probably we were live about you building a 300-acre facility. And
yes.
Okay. So maybe we won't have to travel all the way to Ohio. We'll just have to travel up to your track and whip your butt.
Yeah. We'll have a 3-night event, and it'll be grip driving one day, and then the next day we'll be drifting, and then we'll have the drag racing. And it'll be a 3-day event, and also it'll be a place to have a swap meet. Everybody JDM parts swap meet. We'll have it there. You know, like Carlisle, Pennsylvania has for like Corvette.
Carlisle very well.
Okay, so just like that, make it a destination, and that's really what I want to start having. That a swap meet for JDM parts. I think we're located in a good spot here because we're centrally north to south.
Right.
You know, a lot of the northern guys can make it here, and a lot of southern guys can make it here, and we can have literally that swap meet. I want that. I think it would be awesome. So we're gonna start doing that here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Add it to the list.
Yeah,
Dan,
I mean,
take care of it, Dan.
What's crazy is we're actually about to do our first dyno day too. We haven't released that, so here's your release.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna do a dyno day here in about a month. And once we kind of nail everything down, we'll release all that and get that going. But which will be really cool because it's like we're offering a really cheap way for you to just get on your
$50, 2 pulls, and highest horsepower wins $200. You heard it here. 200
We
bucks.
gotta tell the Kowalski guys not to come.
It doesn't matter. Everybody, anybody. It's wide open. Bring what you got. If I don't care if it's 4,000 horsepower.
Yeah.
We can't do 4,001 though.
Yeah. But Kevin,
4,000 is the limit.
COVID kind of messed up our spring open house, which is our biggest one, and that was the first time we were going to be able to have the dyno running. And the whole back shop is like legit.
Yeah,
now it's not just
food trucks.
Yeah. We had legitimately everything ready to go,
and it was a perfect day too.
Yeah, it was. It was.
I mean, I was invited, and nobody could travel.
Yeah,
you didn't know if you're going to catch it off a gas pump or whatever. So
yeah. So now we're waiting till October, but we're like, we kind of want to do something in between. Then
we have to do it
now that people can kind of get out, So
yeah, everybody's itching to do something, So, but I think we're still limited to 50 people or something. But whatever, we'll just call it a peaceful protest.
Yeah,
and we'll have some banners made up, and
the 25-year ban.
The 25-year ban.
Yeah, and the 25-year.
Yeah,
there we go. That's our protest.
That's our protest
against the 25-year ban.
So how can they say anything?
Yeah, and then we can have 100 people.
We could have 400 people.
All right, Dan. We got questions now.
What was the shop in Texas? I have a question. That's my question. Who is it?
They're no more for their R35s than they are for heritage cars.
So maybe one of these comments is right. Are they in Dallas?
No, they're in Houston.
Okay, then that's not it.
The shop, Houston.
I
do know them.
Are Y32s? Are Y32s tall guy friendly? Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah,
that
is. Fit in there.
I think that's the only question.
What?
Which is actually it's not. I've been kind of answering a few as we
answer
go.
them.
Well, some of them aren't related to anything we're talking about.
Oh. So we're all about talking about whatever.
But yeah.
How about them Yankees? No, I'm just kidding. I don't even follow baseball.
You don't watch any sports except for
football and racing.
Yeah.
What else do you need?
Do you watch NASCAR?
There is no other sport. I don't watch NASCAR anymore. Once Earnhardt died,
when they took the cigarettes away from NASCAR, they lost everybody.
It's true.
Yeah.
And beer, it used to be beer and cigarettes.
It really was.
I mean, come on.
The Winston Cup.
The Winston Cup. And there would be, the Bush League, or wasn't Dale Jr.'s car Budweiser car for a time?
I mean, there's still some advertisers there, but it's not main met.
Everybody's becoming a pussy.
You're the one getting us demonetized, not me.
I mean, seriously, it's like, I don't know. I like watching Formula One.
Yeah.
I like it for the technology and everything that's with it. I don't like seeing the same team win every time, but I tell myself if they have the best team and they're going to win every year, then they deserve to win. That's
right.
Other teams, you better catch up or do something different.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't cry about it. Like if you're slower and you got the same rules that this other team has, then you need to do something different or work better, be more professional, whatever case may be.
So quick caveat back to our showdown. Now here's the thing.
The showdown.
When we start drag racing R32s or R33s, we got to be about it though, because we can't have the rest of the world laughing at us.
No, that's why I'm saying Australia, I don't really want to. I don't want to go out there with a subpar.
Oh yeah, because I mean Australia will
with something that's gonna get the job done and not break right there on the line. I have an
engineer's nightmare that is building a car right now. If he can break it, he will.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid to buy a new one.
Yeah. Well, that's how you have to be in this. I mean, you have to build it to break, and you have to expect that block may not make a pass. So we're going to have another one ready to go.
Another transmission, another engine.
That's how it is.
Lots of spare parts.
Axles, and the axles alone are $4,000
deal. But I know, guys, I'm connected into that world. Like I can make things happen.
Yeah.
We can make a car fast that may not have as much horsepower as the other cars,
Right.
but we
But
can
it's
make it.
knowing how to do that.
We can make
Yeah.
it work. I know with the people that I know, and I just
You
understand that.
forget,
I
I
know we can
went
make it
there
happen.
with you. I saw the cars on the racks.
Yeah.
I
Well, it's
saw
not
the
just
Rossler
them.
transmissions. I saw the 540s. I saw all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I know what you guys got.
Yeah. Yeah. So we can make something that'll get down, but I don't want to just be like, oh, we got to rush and then we get the car done and
Yeah.
it's just ready,
No,
and then
no.
the first time we go there and run anything, I want this car to be shaken down. I want it to be solid. We're not just going to go out there and look like an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Right,
want this
right.
thing to run and perform.
So look at where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what you've got.
Yes.
Local customers and stuff like that you are, and you may have built a car and it's in Arkansas.
Right.
That's
Right.
fine.
Right.
Okay. If they can make it, and
Get
you
'em there.
have to be there, you, Chris, and whoever else you bring
Kevin.
has to
Josh.
be there when the
Would have been
car
Josh,
goes down the
me,
track.
at least. Everybody's gonna want to go.
Yeah.
Just like I know everyone's gonna want to go to SEMA this year
Yeah.
too. And I don't know what we're gonna do because not everybody can go.
Yeah.
I can't go.
You can't go?
Actually, no, I have a prior engagement coming right at that time frame. So two of them, I can't get there. It was planned. I'd already talked about it. I had talked to a lot of back channel people. I'm going to be there. We were trying to do something for it. But this is a family engagement that I just can't make it.
Yeah.
Totally understand.
But I will be there in spirit. If I have to Skype you guys or FaceTime or do something like that.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
We'll walk you around the show.
It'll be a long 3 days of walking and FaceTiming, but it'll.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be fun for sure.
But we're in a baby market right now. Yeah, you've been importing cars and I've had the shop open for 3 years. We're still younglings in the world.
I know.
And if they get their way, the Aussies will try to show up.
Yeah.
And they have been told they couldn't in some cases.
Well, they should be able to. Whatever. This is open to everybody.
What's going on right now with Metro and Giddy could be an interesting summer or fall or next year.
Yeah.
Right.
Because Matooks and Croydons and everybody starts laying the smack down. Even Mick at Motorsports Mechanical. He's got an engine here. And it's in a car that's an hour away from me. And that's Jim Garitas. And it's an amazing built car. It's gorgeous. They're still biting their teeth into that one and are still finding what breaks. Every time he's taking it to the track, he gets sticky and something breaks. And we're all going to experience that. Every one of us.
Yeah.
We don't have 20 years of background of knowing what's going to break or how they're going to break it. That's why I said I got Leo. He's an engineer's nightmare.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care. He is going to go out and break it. I've literally put an engine in the car. He took it to FL2K, brand new, fired it at 11:30 at night. Changed the oil, put it on his trailer, said, you got 500 miles to break this engine in. He drove it all day Saturday to get his 500 miles so he could go out and play on the highway. Lined up with an S2000 and the transmission locked in third gear and he couldn't get out of it. So I got a phone call Saturday, 2 o'clock in the morning. Hey, you want some more of my money? Sure. He said, okay, I'll drop it off tomorrow. It's stuck in gear. So literally the man got 500 and I think 13 miles out of the car and messed up his trans.
Yeah.
And 500 of it was breaking.
I mean, when you're pumping this much horsepower through any drivetrain, it's going to break. And then when you get to the drag strip, you can go out here and launch it on the street all you want.
Yeah.
It's going to have slip. It's going to slip, and that is going to save your axle. It's going to save your diff. It's going to save your drive shaft. It's going to save all that stuff. But you go to a track and it's prepped, it's a whole different ball game. Whole different ball game. I've been there.
That's why we're stepping
on a
into
Supra. Everybody was like, "Oh, those are indestructible." A Supra diff, pff, don't worry about it. Go for it. So I'm, got my rev limit up. I'm like hitting it at like launch 4,500, and a friend of mine was like, "Man, you're getting a lot of shake, a lot of tire shake." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I want to go faster." So I lowered the air pressure and I went up higher to like 5,200 RPM on the launch, and pow, it sounded like a damn shotgun went off. There was metal chunks flying all over, and it didn't even move an inch. Like, I swear it didn't even move nothing. It just was like, what? Done. And now I'm getting the car off the track. I got to try to clean up. Oh shit, I'm sorry. What am I gonna? What am I gonna do? But it's gonna break. And this was so sticky, the track. You walk on it and your shoes, it rips your shoes off of your feet.
Ask Brian Spockman about that. FL2K last year, one of his crew members. Brian broke, transmission let go on one of the final rounds.
Yeah.
And his crew member went over to see if he was okay. And he come up the center lane, went to walk over because Brian parked up against the wall. He didn't know if he was losing fluid or anything. Crew member got about halfway across the track and left his shoe.
Yep.
And then was trying to hop, damn near lost the second shoe, put his sock down on that,
stuck
his sock off his boot.
There's video, right?
Yeah.
There's video.
I was there.
I was
there with that.
Yeah. That's classic. But I mean, that's how sticky it is.
Yeah.
So that's how much grip you're going to get. So it's a different ball game than going out here and street racing or roll racing. Really manual Supra, R32, whatever is built better to be roll raced on the highway than drag race from a dead dig.
I'll keep a 32 on a street race. I'll keep a 32 as a dig because
you compared to other cars, yes, but I'm saying still, it's my Supra. Like, I'd go out and be like, all right, 60 roll. Because I'd always 60 roll. They're like, what are you, insane? I'd always start really high because I'm going to try to negotiate down to 25 or something, and they'd be like, no way, 10. I'm like, I can't do 10. There's no way I could do 10. I'm like 60 to 160. Let's get it done. And so I grew up with all that like shit talking, drag racing, street racing. We were out here street racing, long before Street Outlaws ever thought about doing any of this stuff. Like when I first saw Street Outlaws, like the first episode or whatever, because I saw it coming out and I was like, and someone told me about it, and I was like, man, all right, I'm gonna check it out. When I first saw it, I was like, oh my god, this is us. Like these are us right here. This is the same people we used to hang out with, and it was a good time though, man. I had so much fun doing that. We would like all band up and go to another city, because we're in Virginia here and there's not much in between. Like Lynchburg and Roanoke, there's woods, in between there. So it's like you got to travel, a good hour or so to get to the different cities, and that would be where the other guys are. And we'd be friends with like one or two of the people in the different city and be like, they tell us where to meet up, and we'd all go over there and we'd start setting up races, you know, and be like, all right, well, what's this guy got, you know? And we'd be like, oh, he's got a GTO, man, supercharger, blah blah blah. Like, okay, well, he can race. This guy, he's got a Camaro with 250 shot of nitrous. You know, that should be a good run. Let's go with that. And we'd set it all up and start betting and everything. I mean, I had the time of my life. It would be 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. We'd be out there running. I'd get home. Christina, my wife, would be like, you're getting home at 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, what the heck's going on here? I'm like, I swear I'm not cheating on you, baby. Like, I swear, man. I got video of us street racing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I'm not cheating on you. I was just, you know, losing money and making money.
Oh man,
and...
it's just a good time, man.
You're talking about your dyno day coming up, and you say,
Yeah.
"Oh, we got to tell so and so not to come by." So years ago, 2004, 2005 timeframe, I was stationed at Dover, Delaware. So we had the Tri-City area. So you had Philly, you had Jersey, and Delaware that would all get together.
Yeah.
And we had our own little Delaware street racing website and all this other stuff. And
yeah, they're like a forum.
So,
like
so they decided to do dyno days. And this was in the early days of Sal Patel with the Viper.
Mm-hmm.
And he's out of Seaford, Delaware. So he would travel the 2 hours north into the tri-state area where Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania all meet up. You had Race Proven Motorsports in that area. You had Evolution Motorsports. So Race Proven is all GM stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had Evolution that was all the GT 500s that were breaking all the records. Then Sal says, hey, I got this Viper. Can I come up and play on a dyno day? Nobody could tell what he had because he was always the last one on a dyno, and he would break every single one. So you're looking at a V10 twin turbo sitting down, dropping 1,800 to 2,100 horsepower back then.
Right.
And there's a reason now Sal and a couple others are now doing all one. They've already done the drag stuff, and they've got their trophies and fastest for this or fastest IRS or whatever. Yeah. But to see Sal back in the day, he had a Supra 98. I think it had 2,300 miles on it.
Oh my God.
Glass headlights, you name it, dynoed it somewhere around 840.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to bring it out street racing.
Yeah.
So yeah, back in the day, I've been in the backwoods of Jersey. I've been at the Philly street races. I've done it all.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna go to some. I'm not gonna bring a car, because if I bring a car, I'll be tempted. I'll be really tempted. And I'm not gonna do that. I can't do that.
Yeah, we speaking of break it, the guys in the shop, Chris has this thing apparently when he drives cars around, he breaks them.
I don't break them. I don't break them. I'm testing them out and making sure that they're good for when the customer buys it, that it's not going to break on them.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I am. But I mean, we're talking about like a clutch.
Yeah.
You know, come on, man. Like, I'm buying a 28-year-old car from Japan, and then the clutch goes out while I'm driving it, and they're like, "Oh, you break everything,
like,
Chris."
It doesn't matter. It could be like,
but Ed drove it, Josh drove it, Dan drove it, CJ drove it, Kevin drove it.
No,
I don't
get the clutch goes out on you.
No, but really, it's so funny because
touche.
Or he'll be like, "Man, I'm hearing this weird noise," and no, we never hear it. You know, like we all drive it, and it's so funny.
I'm picky.
He's very picky, which is great.
I'll hear stuff, and I'll be like, I don't like this. Something sounds weird, and they'll be like, no, it's fine. What do you? There's nothing wrong. And then it comes out, yeah, there was something wrong. I'm like, yeah, bitches. Okay. Don't tell me it's fine. I know what I'm talking about. I've been around the block. Okay.
Yeah.
Don't put regular spark plugs in a rotary.
Oh my
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
You would think some people would just have common sense, you know?
Man,
I mean, I can tell you right now, we had one of your customers' GTRs, and they took it to a Nissan dealer because they were having problems.
Mm-hmm.
Had an intercooler pipe blow off. Guy says, "Oh, their master tech there says we got this all handled. Don't worry about it." So they took it in. They towed it in there. It was a local dealer. Come back out of there, $748 to attach an intercooler pipe, change the spark plugs, and then adjust the fuel pressure for 18 pounds of boost on a 32 with a non-adjustable fuel pressure regulator.
So how did they adjust it?
So car comes down to me. They say, "Oh, it's running bad. I just had it at the dealer last week. They did this, they did that. I don't know." I said, "Okay, let me see what we got." Fired up. I got a slight misfire. I got rich coming out of the back end of it. All right. Pop the center cover off, pull the coils, and sure enough, there's 6 300ZX spark plugs in it. Big fatties.
Yeah.
They're not burning. They're not long enough. They aren't doing any wonders. Check fuel pressure. Everything's adjusted correctly now. I don't understand how you adjust fuel pressure for 18 pounds of boost when you don't even know what the boost is, because when the boost blew off the intercooler pipe, it also blew off the vacuum line off the boost controller. So they were at
the boost
max
was
boost.
Yeah.
Yeah, was real pretty. So don't think you're the only one that has customers that do stupid things,
Yeah.
or that there's other
it's the
shops out there that
shops.
don't know what they're
There's
doing.
the cappuccino.
Oh yeah, the cappuccino. They're the other shops, not
Yeah.
necessarily the
it's-
customer. They take it to somebody. Nissan. They figure,
Yeah.
oh, this will be good. It's Nissan. They'll know what they're doing. No,
Yeah.
Nissan.
They've never
Our
worked on them.
Nissan here in our local Nissan will send people to us
Yep.
because they'll be like, oh, that's too old. We can't plug our computer into it, so
Yeah.
we'll send it down to these guys. They know how to fix that stuff. I
Right.
mean, really, they've been sending people to us
Because
because
it's not worth their time.
Yeah.
no, and like I said, all their techs know how to do is plug the thing into the
Console 3 in,
OBD2 and
Yep.
I mean, it's going to tell me what's wrong with it.
It's going to tell me what's wrong with it, and then I can just plug that into the computer, and
and then it'll
you
tell me what
how
part
much,
I need,
Yeah.
and it'll bring up the how to fix it. It'll have drawings and everything
Yeah.
perfect for me to do it, and you don't really need to learn how to diagnose a car
Yeah.
in any way.
And interestingly enough, Nissan, when they released the R35, in order to be a dealer that was certified to sell them, you had to have 2 master techs in the shop that were certified for GTR and went to GTR training school. $70,000 worth of equipment had to be added to the shop
Wow.
inventory for specialized tools.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you had to have a body shop that was certified in aluminum. So if you had one of these postage stamp dealers that doesn't have a body shop, they were not allowed to sell GTRs.
Interesting.
I didn't know that.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, well, I know we have an R35 and it was having problems. And we were like, we had to bleed the brakes, right?
The ABS
So the
pump,
ABS pump went bad. We got a brand new ABS pump and I think we installed it.
Yeah.
But then we brought the car to Nissan because they had to
You had to tell the ABS
like we had
pump
access to a snap-on brand new, OBD2, like should do everything. Okay. Can like do airbag stuff.
Yeah.
But it couldn't do the bleed procedure on an R35. It has to be a special one by Nissan that can actually get this job done.
And an actual Nissan dealer that is not a certified GTR dealer does not get the security cards for their consult system to work on another GTR that comes in.
Gotcha.
So it's a specific thing. I worked at Nissan right after I retired, and we had one that was used car, was up for sale, and they wanted to know if the launch control, because the early models had real problems with the trans.
Yeah.
The customer wanted to know if the launch control had ever been activated.
Mm-hmm.
The car does know when it has been.
Yep.
Wow.
We hooked up our console, couldn't get a code, couldn't figure out how to get into it. I ended up calling the Nissan's technician line, and there's a special code that you have to punch in for GTRs only. So I got on the GTR tech line. I said, is there a way to do this and everything? They're like, oh yeah, you just go here, go here. I said, well, I don't have that screen. I don't have that ability. He says, are you a GTR tech? I said, no. I said, I have console here though. He's like, do you have GTR cards? No. All right, well then you're gonna have to take it to another dealer to work on it.
Damn.
That's crazy.
Yeah. What time is it?
It is late.
9.
Is it not? It's 9?
It's 9.
It's 9.
Been
Oh,
going for
shit.
2.5 hours.
We better
We're
wrap
calling
this
another
up,
Sean
man. I
Morris.
gotta make some calls, man. I gotta sell some cars. What are you guys doing? No, I really do. I need to call like 2
13 people.
Well, at least 2 that I really have to call now.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
I'm not against doing this again sometime.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely.
this was fun.
There's a million other
Um,
things we could talk about.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I know. And we can go on for another 2.5 hours,
Yeah.
I'm sure. But with the whole showdown, all right.
Yeah.
I'm down. All right. We gotta, like I said, I'm gonna make sure that I bring something that's actually gonna get down.
Yeah.
Okay. That's my number one thing. If I don't have it, I'm not showing up. Pretty
Yeah.
much. It's gotta be bed ass.
Yeah,
and-
but you'll be on the wall of shame
For not
because
showing up?
you have over a year to accomplish this mission.
well,
You'll be on the wall of shame.
A year
I
is a short amount of
Personally, make
time.
that award that after 1 year of prep, Chris Driver could not do it.
so we're gonna have a trophy for the people that don't show up.
The horse's ass.
Okay.
That's
all right.
perfect.
All right.
I'll
Well,
personally deliver it too. I'll be like, there, you couldn't make it. I'll deliver it right to your desk.
oh
Yeah.
Lord.
And you will have to display it proudly for 1 year until you can redeem yourself.
Until
We'll leave
I-
it on the
and
front
then
counter.
I have to deliver it then to the next person.
Yes, sir.
That is the award winner. So you don't want to be that person
No.
because you might have to, be like, oh shit, I gotta leave. Where are you going? I'm going to Texas. I gotta bring the award. I gotta fly down there now.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
That would be cool though.
It comes with monetary
We'll vlog it and everything.
responsibility too, because you got to be the person to pass it on.
Right. Right.
It carries weight.
It does carry
Yep.
weight.
Don't
Awesome.
be that guy.
Yeah.
No, don't be that guy. All right. Well,
Sean, thank you so much.
yeah, thank you.
You're
That was
welcome.
awesome.
Had a blast.
Yeah.
I did too.
Valuable information, I think,
Yeah.
for a lot of like diehard Nissan and Skyline
Yeah.
people, and this is here for forever.
It is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So anyone could start, look at this 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and they'll be like, man, look at them guys.
Well,
Look at how
most
young
people
they look
don't know
back
this
then.
face.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not out there that much.
Yeah.
Right.
So nobody knows who they're talking to on the phone or who they're really talking to. I mean, yeah, you get a profile picture.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Right.
it doesn't necessarily give you the heart of the person. This
Exactly.
is a
Yeah.
great way for people to see it. I can't always do it myself. As we say, we're always busy.
Right.
I don't have the luxury of having my own videographer.
Yeah.
Right.
They
I
don't
know.
see me that often. So when I do put myself out there, it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
No, man. Glad to have you. We'll definitely do it again, and maybe when we start getting this drag competition more in order.
Oh yeah,
we
I
have
can
you
already
back
see
on.
Josh drooling tomorrow morning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
wants to
yeah.
What? He wants to, what?
We'll just walk in and be like, "Hey, so we got called out last night," and he'll be like, "Let's go."
Yeah, that's all we got to say. But
All right, gentlemen. Well, let's wrap this
Yeah.
up.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
appreciate you giving me the opportunity to do this with you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We
Absolutely.
have
Thanks
a
for
lot
being
of fun.
yeah,
Like I said, I'm not against doing this again with you.
awesome.
Maybe we can do it with someone else. Maybe I
Okay.
put another familiar face next to me
Yeah.
that's not from around here.
Yeah,
Maybe we do.
if someone's
I-
gonna be there, let us know, and we can
Sure.
make it happen.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe next time I have my whole crew standing behind me, including the owners, and they're calling you out again.
All right, that sounds good. But
Perfect.
if they bought the car from us originally, then we kind of
That individual
we-
may
we'll
not be able to
halfway
make it.
win.
You know that.
we'll 50% win that then, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, we'll share that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, sounds good.
All right, guys. You guys have a great evening. Be
Thanks,
safe.
man. You
Sean.
too.
Take care.
And we will talk to you another time.
All right.
Absolutely.
Have a good one.
All right.
All right, later, man.
All right. Bye.
And everybody hanging out, just like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. I gotta reach all the way over here to end it.